Hi guys, welcome to Chris Cowlin's channel for this live Europa League last 16 second leg match between Tottenham Hotspur and AZ Alkmaar. AZ Alkmaar 1-0 up from the first leg, and frankly, for quite a long time now, I've been calling this Judgment Day. Even before that first leg, I've been saying that in terms of the injuries that Tottenham have had for the last 4 or 5 months, that basically we shouldn't bring anyone back from those injuries until these games. And you'll see from some of the team news when I get to it that actually Ange has kind of done it in terms of them all playing together. He's played his strongest possible side, in my opinion. Anyway, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. Wherever you are, please do get involved. Please do send in comments, and I will endeavor throughout the evening to get to them, to charge some debate, to engage with all of you, and let's all engage together. Please, if you're not already, make sure you've pressed like on this video, if you're on YouTube especially, and subscribe to Chris Cowlin wherever you are. It's at Chris Cowlin on YouTube. Chris is at the game tonight, so keep an eye out on his channel for video updates throughout the evening, including the post-match press conferences, which will be posted straight after the game. And in terms of the itinerary for tonight's Spurs Content Fest, this is what's going to happen. I will be bringing you the watch-along. I will then do a post-match reaction video straight afterwards. Then we will have the fan show where I speak to Tottenham fans from all around the world about their feelings on what will hopefully be an excellent result that sees us through to the last 8. And then after that, at 11 o'clock, Chris will be back with the Spurs Chat podcast, where he'll be joined by Ricky Norwood, Stu Miller, and Lee Baker. So endless Tottenham content coming to you tonight on Chris Cowlin's channel. Would you expect anything less? Let's get into that team news then. Vicario in goal. Pedro Porro does start. I did some videos this week saying it would not surprise me at all if, despite Porro's kind of iffy form, especially in terms of defensively, if Ange goes with him, because he knows we're going to need to score goals tonight. Not just one goal either, in my opinion. It seems incredibly unlikely to me that we will keep a clean sheet. And I think Ange probably thinks that too. So as much as their wide left player Poku will enjoy getting in behind Pedro Porro, which undoubtedly he will, because that's where we concede most of our chances from. Also, he knows he needs Porro on the pitch to get good cross delivery into Solanke for set pieces and potential long shots as well, because we know Porro has got a great strike on him. So Porro and Spence are the fullback. Spence playing ahead of Udogie at left back. Van der Ven and Romero do start at centre back. The first time they've started together since the Chelsea game, where they then both got injured in that game and not for the first time. Then the midfield three, which is fascinating. Sarr, Bergvall and Maddison. Not a natural number 6 anywhere to be seen. Is Sarr going to be expected to sweep up in front of Romero and Van der Ven? Who's going to come and get the ball off those centre backs and off Vicario? If you are AZ Alkmaar this week and you had a hint or likelihood that Pat Matasar would be playing, you would be saying press him to death, because technically he is not great taking the ball with his when he's facing his own goalkeeper, and he's not really a player who's going to take it on the half turn. So be interesting to see how early in the game and how regularly James Maddison comes incredibly deep to get the ball off his back four and off the goalkeeper. And frankly, I wouldn't mind if he does that, get himself into the quarterback role, but that will leave us a little bit lacking players in that kind of 10 role. I wonder if even maybe Sarr might push up and try and break lines, playing in more that 10 role, and Maddison comes and picks it up deeper. But yeah, as I said, Sarr, Bergvall and Maddison in the midfield, and then Sonny on the left, Odegaard on the right, which is something I've been calling for. Let's get Wilson Odegaard driving to the outside of his winger, of his fullback, and then trying to get some crosses in, and then Dom Solanke in the middle. Obviously, I have to mention injuries. We need to not get any injuries tonight if we're going to have any chance whatsoever of turning this around. And it's a big risk, a huge pressure game for Ange Postecoglou, and he's got to hope that they all come through it unscathed. On the bench, Austin and Whiteman, Bissouma, Tell, Udogie, Gray, Johnson, Davies, Scarlett, and more. So it is a strong, strong bench for Tottenham. But let's make no bones about this. Ange's future as Tottenham Hotspur manager rests entirely on this game. They go out of this, and I cannot see a future for Ange Postecoglou. I don't know whether he would lose his job tomorrow and then they bring in a caretaker, or whether they'd kind of see him carry on as kind of a lame duck manager till the summer. But there's no way that I can foresee us finishing 12th, 13th, 14th in the league, out of all the cup competitions early, apart from obviously the Carabao Cup where we got to the semi-final. and then him keeping his job. One thing I want to talk about in terms of potential positivity, if Van der Ven and Romero can stay fit and on the pitch, then their ability to have a high line, and I don't just mean defensively, their ability to have a high line when we have the ball is something that could really help us. So many times I've seen Van der Ven and Romero when they've played for Spurs and Spurs are playing well, where when we have the ball in the final third, they are kind of 10 yards inside the opposition's half. And that keeps the opposition on the back foot and means that when they're clearing it, they have to whack it out, we win it back, and then we're right back at them again. That is what I'm hoping for. Fitness, stay fit, and then keep the kind of line that high when we've got the ball. Of course, that gives a chance for Poku to get in behind, but that's where Van der Ven's pace will be utilized to try and get us out of trouble there. Solanke needs to stay fit as well, press them to death from the front. We need the fans behind them. They're just cutting to the AZ Alkmaar fans who are making a bit of a racket, but I also saw in some of the footage that the Spurs fans are trying to get behind the team as well. But we need to give the fans reason on the pitch to get behind us. It has to be quid pro quo. The fans need to get the players up and the players need to get the fans up. Like I said, hopefully it's exciting that Odebear has a chance to get in down the right-hand side, and that might make some more space for Sonny. If they double up on Odebear on the right, that could cause some space for Sonny if we can get the switch on. Spence ahead of Udogie, I think probably makes sense. Spence has been in great form, and I like him on that left because it means that he defends well against the player trying to cut inside and have shots on that side of the pitch. Here's a question for you guys. Let me know in the comments. If Tottenham are going to go through tonight, how many goals do you think we're going to need to score in this game? Because I'm going to say 3 minimum. I cannot see us keeping a clean sheet. I hope I'm wrong. I desperately hope I'm wrong. But I cannot see us not conceding from a set piece or a transition or something bizarre. And it would not surprise me at all if we conceded early in this game, you know, kind of popping the balloon, popping the excitement out of the crowd, and us having to chase it back. We feel like we've all seen this with Spurs so many times as the players come out of the tunnel. I'm going to turn the volume up to hear what the atmosphere is like. I hope I'm wrong and that we can bulldoze them, but I just think it's going to be hard. I think this game is set up for Alkmaar with their 1-0 lead from the first half. Interestingly, in the comments, John says it will go to penalties. I've been saying all week, it wouldn't surprise me if it went to penalties, and I don't feel overly confident that we would win that penalty shootout. I hope I'm wrong. The crowd seem pretty up for it. Tottenham haven't put out any flags or anything today, which is kind of a shame. They're obviously hoping we'll get through, and they're going to save that for a later round if we get there. Another thing is, I think Brennan Johnson is a really good option for us from the bench today. Hopefully when the game opens up in the second half, assuming and hoping we're still in the game at that point. Obviously, there's a big chance of the Troy Parrott script, him getting a goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to put us out of this tournament. You can't say that that's unlikely. I think it will help Alkmaar that they've played at this stadium once already this season. They lost 1-0, of course, in the group stage. Also, another bit of news in case you didn't know, AZ Alkmaar asked the Dutch FA if they could have last weekend off so they'd be fully ready and energized for this game. And the Dutch FA agreed with them. That is something that would never happen in England, sadly. But whereas usually I'd be incredibly annoyed about that, actually Tottenham had the weekend off and more before the last game against Alkmaar and performed absolutely horrifically. So hopefully it'll go back the other way this time. And then the other person to think about is the AZ Alkmaar captain, Classy, who used to play for Southampton. He had a great game in the other leg. Wasn't really that rated in the Premier League. Will he do a Johnny Howson? I mentioned this in the last watch on Johnny Howson, who played for Middlesbrough against us in the FA Cup and had an absolute worldie despite him being a journeyman. Will that happen against us tonight? Okay, I'm going to get into the comments, guys. I'm not sure how long I'll be on delay at the moment. They're just showing the teams on the screen. But if I'm probably on about a minute's delay, I would have thought. Make sure you pause your game if you want to keep up with me during it so that we're all completely level. I won't be going through the comments during the first half because I don't want to see things ahead of time. Patch Thomas says, we're going to boss this. Patch, I so hope you're right. Adrian Simcock says it might go to extra time. Ben Benson and Tiger Tony and Tom Bowdler and HMQ all say that to win this game, we're going to need 3 goals. So in agreement with me on that. And then John says, definite Romero red card. That's a really good point, actually. As Spurs line up for their pre-match photo in their all-white kit. Come on, let's make this a glory night. But John makes a really good point. Discipline is huge. Do not do anything stupid in this game. Get a red card early on that allows Alkmaar to play even more in their style for it to suit them even more. Gardu says, Madders, nice little comment here. Madders and Bergvall will alternate receiving from deep, whether directly from the back line or Vic. Saar will run between the lines as he's always done. Very few are as mobile into space as he is. Yeah, I really hope he can stretch the Alkmaar back line. How are you feeling, guys? How are you feeling? I have to say, I'm nervous. I desperately don't want it to be the end of our season. I fear it is. I really do fear. And I hope that by saying this out loud, I'm basically going to be shown that I know nothing about ball and I'm going to be completely wrong. But I really fear that this is going to suit Alkmaar and that we're looking at the end of the Ange Postecoglou reign. Simon Twiddle says, I love Spurs, but I'm not confident tonight. The only way we know how to score is pressing the opposition into a mistake. There's no creativity or flowing football, and we're so open. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong as well, and I hope I'm wrong. And it looks like we're about to kick off, guys. Good luck, everyone. Biggest game since probably the Champions League final for Spurs. And we need to win this tie desperately to keep our season going and to keep Ange Postecoglou in a job and, frankly, to keep Australia happy. So many Australians support Ange Postecoglou. Spurs are shooting away from the south stand in the first half, which is better for us. That's the way we like it. And they go long straight away. I'm not sure really why they do that. And we've lost the first head. I don't know why we do that from the start. It's like we try and play the game all the time with the ball at our feet, but straight away from the kickoff, we try and play long up towards Sonny, which never really works. As Alkmaar go long, Bergvall takes a touch in midfield and gets it down and then plays it backwards. And as expected, Alkmaar just pressing us right forward with three genuine forwards pressing us when we have the ball. Mickey van der Ven with his first touch, and he goes direct over the top for Solanke to chase. I don't hate that. And Sonny, is it? No, Madders picks up the bits. I don't mind that at all. Good stuff from Madders, cutting in narrow. Just surrounded by red shirts, but gets it outside to Spence. He's going to want to come narrow. Goes down the line, tries to find Sonny down the line, but a bit of a heavy touch. But just so many bodies around the ball already. And as I've been saying in my videos this week, what Alkmaar did really well was just in the first leg, and they're going to do it tonight as well, copying the kind of Crystal Palace, the Ipswich, knowing that if they get in our face, if they fall on the floor all the time, if they slow things down, we will not get into our rhythm, and they'll play pretty direct as well. And Spurs will find it difficult as they win a throw on the right-hand side. Take it quickly backwards towards Romero. We're asking a lot of Romero and Van der Ven today. And I'm hoping that also they can supply us with a bit more of a threat from set pieces as well, Romero and Van der Ven. So we get the ball out early to Son. Up once again against the same defender who really kind of kept him in his pocket in that first game. Van der Ven finds Spence on the left. He tries a ball over the top. Wasn't really on that one. Not sure why he did that. But then he wins the second ball in midfield really well. But then has to go backwards to Madders. Finds Son outside him, and he's tackled straight away. And that was what I was saying. The defender in the first leg had him in his pocket, and now Alkmaar go first time straight over the top of Porro, trying to find Poku it is, but Porro did well. And you can see, once again, like in the first leg, Alkmaar trying to take advantage behind our left fullback, our right fullback. Odebear takes a good touch, has to come narrow. And all the time, Spurs going narrow, and Alkmaar trying to push us more narrow where all the players are. That's where they're comfortable. Romero now plays it into Saar, gets a touch on the ball, lays it back to Porro, comes across to Mickey van der Ven. The Spurs fans are trying to get into this game. Out to Son. He tries to play it around the corner, but that's deflected. And it comes into midfield, but Alkmaar managed to get it away. But good stuff from Bergvall. He wins it back. And the ref has given a free kick, and it definitely wasn't. And this is the first example of Alkmaar falling on the floor at the first opportunity. This definitely wasn't a foul. Oh my God. He has literally just fallen on the floor. Well, I called it, didn't I? The cheating and the wasting time. This is a fake head injury. Embarrassing. But that's what they want to do. I think that's what they're going to need to do. They've won a free kick from that as well, and it never, ever was. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And they're taking so much time over it, and they just go direct over the top of Porro again. And it works. They're in behind Porro now. And Porro does well. Clears it. Out to Odebear. He's on his own here. Goes back to Porro. Plays it to Romero. He's in a bit of trouble here, but he finds Mickey van der Ven with a good ball. Van der Ven now. He's going to use his pace to try and get away. Good lad. Gives it into Son, who's already lost the ball once, and he nearly did as well. He's being pressed so far up the pitch, Son, the whole time. Bergvall plays it to Romero. Come on, Christian. We need a huge game from you. Romero inside to Madders, coming deep to get it off his centre-backs already. He plays it to Son. Spence is outside him. Comfortable for AZ at the moment. Spurs not really getting a tempo up, but we are on the ball. Madders, lovely ball inside. Good one-touch stuff there between Son and Solanke in narrow. And Son's on in the middle there. Oh, and he tries to flick it round the corner. It's not been a great start to this game from Son, but he's trying things, so I don't mind it. And AZ go long again. Alkmaar's going to... Van der Ven wins the first one. He's going to need help with the second one. Spence does well. He's fouled. Got Joe Hart on co-coms. I don't mind that because he loves Big Ange Postecoglou and obviously used to play for Spurs as well. Bergvall. So the pattern for the game is set. Tottenham are going to have all the ball. Lovely stuff. Beautiful ball from Romero into Solanke, who was fouled, but he managed to get a good touch away. And now we're out wide with Odebear, is it? Comes back. And now a chance for a cross from Porro. It's not a good one. And Alkmaar get rid. Romero sweeps up and goes back to Vicario. And Van der Ven gives him an option, but he goes back to Romero. 1,100 of you watching now concurrently, guys. And Romero's pushing people away from him. Spurs players is in, trying to get them to push out so he's got more options. As Bergvall tries the big, long diag, and Sonny didn't make the run for him. And already Alkmaar taking their time over these goal kicks. The fans need to get on the referee's back about this really early. They go direct again, straight onto Porro's head. But Romero's trying to come and help him. And Romero sweeps up, goes back to Vicario. And Vicario finds Romero again. Good stuff from Spurs. Romero looking for an option. Gives it to Porro a bit behind him. So Porro has to chip it into midfield. Solanke holds it up nicely there. Beautiful from Dom Solanke. That is what we've been missing. Gives it inside to Madders. Now he tries the crossfield ball. Sonny, he's got a little bit more space now, and Spence is making a run outside him, so the fullback's dropped off him. That's good. Sonny comes narrow, but then plays a terrible ball. It's been a horrible start to this game from Son. Van der Ven commits a foul inside the Alkmaar half. Just showing a little bit of a lack of confidence, I think, in Son Heung-min at the moment. And once again, Alkmaar have taken so much time over this, and they're just going to play the big diag over Pedro Porro again. And he's calling for Odebear to help him out there against Poku. And Poku's just driving at both of them, and Porro gets in. Throw into Alkmaar. Disappointing start from Son Heung-min, but other than that, Spurs have been okay. It's not heavy metal football by any means. And it's not going to be easy to do that because Alkmaar are so kind of compact as they were in that first leg. But we are at least dominating the ball and getting on it a lot. Son presses the fullback. He goes for a narrow ball in midfield, and that's good play. And Maddison got in well there. Sar's got to be careful on the ball there, and he wasn't. And he's lost it in midfield. Spurs managed to push AZ back. And they're going to end up maybe back at their keeper here, are they? No, they come in narrow again. Back to the right back. And good football there. And they've bypassed Sonny. And they're in down the line now. But Mickey van der Ven turns on the afterburners. And he will go back to Vicario here, you would have thought. Oh, and he's shown his absolute genius there, Van der Ven. Incredible play. And he's put us on a transition. Oh, and it nearly worked. Nearly worked. Amazing from Van der Ven. That shows exactly what he offers that we've missed. Just showed pace to turn. Well, brilliance on the turn. Turns his man when he's facing his own byline. Pulls away and then plays a good pass. And Spurs nearly with some good one-touch stuff in midfield get away. And Classy goes back to the keeper. So Solanke goes to press him and the keeper will go long. And he kicks it straight out. Good pressing from Dom Solanke. So far, it's Bergwall getting a lot of time on the ball in midfield as he opens it out now to Romero. Just on the halfway line, Romero so lays it across to Van der Ven. And the Spurs fans trying to get behind the team with chanting when the Spurs go marching in. Sonny now, again, just plays a horrible pass. He's really had a terrible start to this game. So he goes to pick it off from Van der Ven again so he can try and do something a bit better. And opens it out to Romero, but puts Romero in a horrible position. What is happening with Son? And Son again puts Bergwall in a horrible position. Anyway, Spurs have the ball back, but Son's trying too hard here. And Sociedad are a goal up against Man United at Old Trafford. 2-1 up on aggregate, but that doesn't matter. We just care about this so far. Son takes a touch. Good ball into Solanke. You can't quite get it down, but that puts the pressure on. Good stuff from Spurs. That was better from Son. Come on, Sonny. You're the skipper. Come on. We take the throw in quickly. Madders gets it out to Spence, who's driving at the box here. Goes back to Bergwall, who finds some room with Madders. He goes inside to Spence. Good stuff from Spurs on the edge of the box. Gets a cross, and it's a beautiful cross. Oh, lovely cross, and it was cleared well. Romero wins the first one. Odebear nearly gets in there. And here we go. They're in down the left now. Romero out to meet him. Poku, that is. That was good defending from Romero. But they just one pass gets them through midfield. And Parrott was nearly in there. But in the end, it's good defending from Porro. And gives it to Madders. Spence turns away. Goes to Bergwall. Oof, gives it to Van der Ven, who takes a lovely touch. Spence goes down the line to Son, but gives it away. Son, I'm getting wound up by Son already here. Good pressing from Bergwall leads to the AZ kicking it off. AZ pressing Spurs deep into their half. They've got a good trigger on it. Spence with a throw in now. Needs options. Madders gives it to him. Goes back to Spence. He goes back to Van der Ven. He might have to go long here, and he just kicks it off the pitch. The thing is about stuff like that, I get that you're trying to play football, you know, the Ange way or whatever, but it brings the opposition on. If you keep kicking the ball off the pitch and making bad decisions, it gives confidence to the opposition as well. Anyway, Spurs are trying to play. We need to find the ball into Odebear a bit more. He's just pressed their fullback well, but let's get him drive the ball at his feet and get him driving at his fullback on the right over there. 11 minutes gone. No real chances in this game so far. Spurs have won the ball back in midfield. Van der Ven needs an option. Spence trying to give him one and does. Takes a good touch inside, Spence. Van der Ven goes across to Romero. Going to need to find the ball at Romero's feet more. Good ball into Bergwall. Good stuff from Spurs in midfield, and we're through midfield now. Sarr out to Odebear. Pressed early, but go outside him. Go outside him. Go on, Wilson. Yeah, and get a good cross in. It's a fucking diabolical cross that finds Sonny. But at least he tried. No, that should be our throw, but he's given it to them. Of course he has. Sonny very frustrated so far. But that was Odebear first. His first go at running at the fullback. And he got a cross in. Oh, lovely play to get out of the press from AZ. And then they play it over Porro again, but he wins that header and heads it well into Odebear, I think. It's under a lot of pressure, so he's driving through the middle. Beautiful from Odebear. Wonderful run from Odebear, and he's found Son, left-hand side of the box. He slowed it down, though, Son. Odebear now at the byline. Son gets the ball again, pressed again. Goes to Maddison, bit behind him, though. Turns. Oh, Spurs. And Alkmaar just clear it up. That's what I'm talking about. That was brilliant from Odebear. His best bit of stuff in a Spurs shirt. And now Son some time on the left again. Son into Maddison. It's got a bit of space. tries to play it into Solanke's feet, but it wasn't the best ball. And again, Alkmaar clear. And it's well held up by Parrott. And actually, Alkmaar have done really well here. Good stuff from Porro, though. And a good win from Van der Ven, wins the ball back for Spurs. And now it's with Spence. And this is what I'm talking about that can get the fans behind us. Winning the ball back quickly and getting the ball down again and not giving Alkmaar a chance to breathe. And you can guarantee any second that Alkmaar will try and get a foul and dive on the floor, or they'll fake an injury to try and stop this little bit of momentum. As Madders goes down the line to Son again. He's pressed, so he goes back to Madders. Inside to Spence. Spence turns his man well. And then he just takes a poor touch, unfortunately, and Alkmaar win the ball back. And now they're trying to play it around, so they will go direct in a minute. And there they do. And Parrott comes to it, flicks it on. Romero gets a little touch. And then Spurs win it back with Sarr. Good stuff. And there's Parrott pretending to be injured on the floor. But Spurs need to carry on with Spence. Come on, Spence. That's it. Gives it into Madders. Madders. Oh, God. What? Just tried a ridiculous ball out to Son. Just whacked it off the pitch. Come on. We've got to take advantage of this momentum. Come on. And Alkmaar clear it long. Romero wins the first one. Second one is Classy's. Porro comes into the midfield. Oh, and then they play a really good ball out wide. And they're in down. Brilliant tackle from Christian Romero. Not only stops the transition, but also keeps it on. Now, find someone easy here, Romero. He does. Goes inside to Sarr, who finds Bergvall, who finds Jed Spence. Good stuff from Spurs. That was brilliant from Romero. And now Son out wide. Running at his man, but he slowed it down again, Son. Goes inside to Madders. And because of our lack of tempo, we've allowed Alkmaar to get back into their shape. Now Sonny has some space. And can he get across him with his left foot? Cuts it back. And it falls to Alkmaar player on the edge of the box. But brilliant from Van der Ven. Could maybe have won a free kick there, but instead he's lost the ball. And now there's a break on. And Spence, brilliant touch on the ball from Spence to win it back. Come on, Spurs. And they find Son, who's got space on the left again now. Driving at his man. Goes to the outside. Gets to the byline. And that is a corner. The first corner for Spurs. Come on. The fans are getting behind it. They're loving this performance so far. And of course, the Alkmaar player is pretending to be injured. That was brilliant from Spence. Parrott is complaining. Come on, let's get a good delivery here. Let's get Van der Ven or Romero on the end of it. Come on, we haven't scored from a set piece in a big game for so long. Van der Ven is standing near the keeper. 17 minutes gone. Oh, and then the player, fucking embarrassing, Alkmaar, falling on the floor, trying to waste time already again. Van der Ven just pushes him lightly. Pathetic. Looks like they're going to try and put this ball right on the keeper's head. How's your delivery then, Madders? Assuming it's Madders. They're just showing Van der Ven near the keeper now. Oh, it's Son actually with the corner. Come on, Sonny. Here it comes, in-swinger. Oh, God, it's poor. Bergvall wins another corner. Oh, except the ref has somehow given a goal kick. What is he doing? Son, just a terrible corner, hits the first man. He's had a poor start to this game, Sonny. Let's hope he can drag it back. What's happened here? So Bergvall's battling for it at the near post. It's definitely a corner. Poor refereeing and linesmaning that. Woeful. 18 minutes gone. Poor refereeing there. And Alkmaar taking ages over it and then just going for the big direct one again onto the top of Pedro Porro. Sarr is near it. Lets it bounce, which is ridiculous. Porro wins a header and then goes long down the line. Well done, Pedro. Alkmaar clear it in midfield. Bergvall gets a touch on it. And Spurs get the ball back. And Van der Ven, with a beautiful ball, finds Spence outside him. Go on, keep going, Spence. You can drive. You can drive. Comes back narrow to Bergvall, who opens it out on the half turn nicely. And Odebear is an option for him. And he finds him. Beautiful. And Porro's with him here. So Odebear will go back to Nairo for a chance for a cross here, but he doesn't get it out of his feet. So he goes back to Odebear. And Odebear now on his left foot. Dummy Spence? No, he doesn't. Spence is now central. Comes to the left to Son, it'll go, I'm sure, and it does. And Spence makes a run outside him, which is good. And so Son tries the early cross, and it's blocked, and it's poor, and it's a throw. Sonny trying everything to play himself into form here. It's not good at the moment in this first 20 minutes. Van der Ven to Romero. Romero has to go back to Vicario because Alkmaar get a good press on. And Romero goes to give him another good option. Vicario might have to try something different here. No, he finds Van der Ven, who goes inside. Not a great ball, though. And Alkmaar managed to get it back now in midfield. They play one over the top into the 10 roll, and there's too much space for Alkmaar here. Far too much space. They're going to be in down the left here. But a poor pass lets Tottenham off the hook. That was Alkmaar's first bit of kind of good 1-2 touch stuff in the 10 roll. We got away with it a little bit. 20 minutes gone. No chances, proper chances in this game as yet. It's cagey, to say the least. But Spurs are in the ascendancy. Sarr not in this game at the moment, really, you'd have to say. Maddison clears it up. And Son is getting a lot of the ball, but making bad decisions. But I can only hope that that will lead him to being clinical if he gets a chance. And again, they've got 3 up against Porro here. Romero helps him out, wins the header. And that is an Alkmaar throw. They're very one-dimensional when they've got the ball deep. Alkmaar just literally going for the long one onto Porro's head for Poku to try and win and get the scraps. Alkmaar taking absolutely ages over this throw. Come on, fans, get behind this now and stop it from happening. Yeah, they are. The fans are starting to do it now. They're starting to boo. Good. Porro wins the header from the throw, and Maddison's got a bit of time there. Gives it to Sarr. Thinks it over the top to Solanke, but didn't work. And then they go to the left again. Bergvall with a good header. Good little win in there, and Sarr does well to keep it. And now Porro's under pressure. Plays a dodgy ball towards Spence, who wasn't able to pick it up. And now they've got it in midfield. But they play a poor ball. And then Spence plays another poor ball, but gets to Son. And Son manages to turn away and give it back to Van der Ven. And the fans getting a little agitated because we didn't move it forward. But I don't think we had the ball under control, so I didn't mind that. Maddison now coming deep. Gives it to Bergvall. Lovely. Yeah, Joe Hart just talking about in co-coms how Alkmaar are recovering their positions really well. And that's true, but you'd expect nothing different as Romero tries to find a difficult ball through. It's intercepted, but Bergvall wins the ball back and does well and finds Son. Spence is outside him, so Son comes narrow and he's going to try an early cross. It's a good cross! And the keeper has to come deep with a punch. And Van der Ven manages to win the ball back because there was a chance. As soon as a clearance comes from AZ quickly, they all try and transition. But Van der Ven was in a good position there. But that was a beautiful cross from Son. We need more of that. More deep crosses. I've been calling for this in my videos for a long time. Deep crosses from Porro. Deep crosses from Son. Because now we've got Solanke on the pitch. We can do that. I do not know what Pedro Porro has just done there. He has just played a ridiculous pass. And as a result, AZ are in. And Mickey Van der Ven clears up with brilliant defending. Amazing from Van der Ven. It was a brilliant deep cross from Son because Sarr and Solanke are attacking it, and the keeper does well to use both his fists to clear it. Alkmaar now with the ball. And they go for a big diagonal, this time over Spence. Oh, and Spence is out, beaten in the air, and Bergvall does brilliantly with the second ball, and the fans love that. Gives it back to Vicario, who gives it to Romero. He's on his wrong side there. Oh, my God. Romero, what the fuck are you doing? And then Vicario plays a lovely dink to Madders. Oh, he played a dodgy ball, but eventually gets it out to Son. And again, AZ working incredibly hard. Maybe this will be a game where we have to wait for them to tire. As Madders tries, and Sarr was fouled in midfield there, and the ref hasn't given it. And Sarr needs to work back. Odebear is working back. That's good. Well done, Odebear. Odebear working back on the right there. Saved Sarr a little bit. Looked like he was fouled, but the ref didn't give it. And Maddison asking Odebear to press the fullback. And now Alkmaar trying to break through midfield now with Klassen. And Spurs are pressing, and then they've missed it in midfield. And it only took one little break past Porro, who's jogging back, and now they're in on the left with Poku. And Romero's out of position there, and he gives away a foul, Romero. And I talked about it, didn't I? I cannot see them not scoring a set piece. Romero may have done the right thing there because he knows he's out of position. Poku beats him on the outside. I don't know if it's the right thing or not. I guess if they don't score from this, it would be deemed to be the right thing. And this is going to lead to the first chance of the game, I would think. They're going to whip this in towards Vicario. Spurs keeping their defensive line on around the kind of 8 yards, around 8 yards out. And AZ have just committed at least 7 into the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 or 8. 25 minutes gone. Here it comes, the in-swinger. And it's a free header, and they've head it wide. He didn't put loads of pace on it, and that kind of made it less dangerous. It was quite deep in the end, and Sarr was up challenging it for it. They had lots of men around the ball. Van der Ven, Son again with a terrible decision. The fans getting on Son's back. Van der Ven gave a ball down the line to Sonny, and all he has to do is hold it up to keep us in possession. He tries a stupid flick round the corner. Oh, brilliant. Chance here for Solanke. He's got to be quicker. Chance. Goal! Wilson Odebear! Please be onside. They tried to clear it. Sonny pressed him, and the clearance fell to Dominic Solanke, and he could have shot, but he didn't. He lays it across the box, and Odebear sweeps it home, roof of the net. But I'm determined not to cheer too much, because if Solanke was offside... Okay, this is it. I was slagging off Son, but they played a bad ball into their right-back position into the corner. So the right-back opens it up, tries to clear it, and he's not offside. He's behind the ball, Solanke, and that is brilliant forward work from Solanke to just find Odebear. Now, Spurs, don't do anything stupid. Just stay in the game and keep bossing the game. And Van der Ven plays a bit of a dodgy ball back to Vicario, who finds Romero. And that is Wilson Odebear's first goal for Tottenham Hotspur. Lovely ball from Romero there to Porro. And he finds Spence. And now Spurs driving through the midfield. Come on, boys. He finds Sonny, who's pressed straight away. And again, Sonny has lost the ball. One thing I will say, though, is Son did make that goal with his high press. So let's give him the credit for that. I just want him to make some better decisions. There will be a lot of pressure on that Wilson Odebear moment there. He's, I don't know, 8, 9 yards out, and he has to get it right, and he sweeps it into the top of the net. And Ange giving it the fist bump. 1-1 on aggregate. Now, come on, Spurs. Keep driving. Vicario tries the chip. It's a good ball out to Porro. Can Porro find Sarr there? He does find Sarr, but unfortunately, Sarr caught ahead of the ball. Anyway, winner in midfield. Oh, Madders. Chance for Madders to open out. And he finds Son well. And Son has a bit more space now to drive his midfield. Madders has gone down there in midfield. And Spurs, as a result, have slowed down their tempo. And the ref's not stopping the game because Madders is fine. Fucking idiotic from Spurs. Fucking chance to keep the momentum going. Madders grabbing his ankle. He's not happy. Sorry, I'm just determined for us to make the most of the momentum. Madders plays the ball. Oh, and it looks like he might have tweaked it without anyone around him, you know? I don't know. Oh, Madders. We haven't got any creativity on the bench in terms of Kulusevski. Based on what Odegaard has done in the start of this game, I wouldn't be afraid to put him in the 10 and say drive at the midfielders. Anyway, Vicario finds Van de Ven, who goes for a dink over the top towards Solanke. Can he win that header towards Son? Good stuff. I like those little direct balls we're doing more because it gives us something different. Fans getting into this. Now Vicario plays a long one over the top to Odegaard. Oh, and it was just a tiny bit too much on it, but I love that as well. Okay, and now the fullback, who's the player who's the best on the park for AZ at the moment. Good pressure from Spence, and he kept the ball on there, but ref says he's given away a foul, which he definitely didn't. Come on, Tottenham. Let's get the next one now. Come on. Tottenham 1, Alkmaar 0. 30 minutes gone. Alkmaar will know. Just play the same way. They've given away a mistake. But we haven't made any gilt-edged chances other than from their mistake as they try and play it around their back line now. Good press from Spurs with Odegaard. And they try the big diag over Spence, who takes it down on his chest well and finds Van de Ven. Bergvall plays it in between the lines into Madders, who looks better now. Gives it back to Romero, to Sarr, who's not really getting on in the game that much, Sarr, and not really breaking forward either, but let's see what happens. Van de Ven plays it first time to Son, who again tries it round the corner, causes a bit of panic in the Alkmaar defence, and they clear it really high in the air. Spencer's got a challenge here, and he does, and he wins it. Brilliant from Spence. Keep driving towards the box, Jed. Keep driving. Tries to play it inside, and Alkmaar managed to deal with it. And then they get it back to the keeper. But that was great stuff from Jed Spence. Romero takes a bit of a dodgy touch, but clears it. But straight into midfield, and Alkmaar get it down. And as ever with Spurs, it's only one ball through the midfield to get Alkmaar in a bit of a dangerous position. Not dangerous, but a better position. And now they're in down the right a little bit here, Alkmaar. Yep, it's in behind. Van de Ven goes out to the wide man. Don't foul him. And they cut it inside, and Van de Ven is out of position here. It's a great cross to the back post. And it goes all the way to Poku now on the other side. Spurs have to stay strong here. Poku gets it to the edge of the box. Classy. He's going to have a dig, or he wanted to. Then he tries the big cross, and that's poor. Out for a goal kick. I don't want to give it the big one, but I've been saying for a while I want to see Odegaard on the right, getting outside his fullback, but also for that, to get in at the back post. That's his first goal for the club, and I'm pleased for the kid. And somehow, already, during the replay, Spurs have lost the ball, and it's a throw into Alkmaar on the right. Got to do better down this right-hand side, and if we're not going to, then just get it out to the left to Odegaard more. Solanke pressing them all the way back to their back line now, and they're going to have to end up going deep here. And in the end, the press from Solanke and Son just totally makes him kick the ball off the pitch in a panic. Good stuff from Spurs. Van de Ven now into Bergvall, into Spence on the left-hand side. Madders trying to make some space in between the lines. Comes back to Van de Ven. To Romero. And he goes back to Vicario. Van de Ven now opens it out. He's going to use his pace here, Van de Ven, to try and get away from them. And he does brilliantly. And this is brilliant. Van de Ven has found Son. And now Son's driving. He's got Solanke ahead of him. He's got to make the right decision here, Son. He has a dig, and I don't think he should have. Easily saved. But maybe that'll give Son a bit more confidence. And Spurs win it high again. Jed Spence with a dodgy touch. Oh, unfortunately, we can't get it down. Joe Hart on CoCom saying how Spurs have the game by the scruff of the neck. But all that can change quickly. But come on, Spurs, just keep the pressure on as AZ go high and long over the top, and Romero wins the first one. And Van der Ven is going to have to clear with the second, and he does, down the line. Spence wins another one in midfield, and then AZ just whack it high, and Porro's just going to have to deal with that. Oh my God, and he's 50p'd it straight to Poku. How on earth did he get it there? And they're in down the left now, and they come narrow. And Sarr pushes him narrow and backwards. Well done, Pap Sarr. That was important. Porro, bizarre. And now the fullback, who's been their best player, comes forward. Madders helping out and gives away a stupid fucking foul. What are you doing, Maddison? Completely unnecessary. Fucking idiotic. So this free kick is in the inside right position. It's about 45 yards out, and they've put forward all their men now. Spurs keeping the defensive line on the 18-yard box. But we should not be giving them opportunities like that. Make them create stuff themselves. Maddison didn't need to do that. Didn't need to do that. Here it comes. Flicked onto the back post. But Spence gets himself in a good position, gets it out for a throw. And the Spurs player is down in the box. It's Solanke. I think he got kicked high, and it should have been a free kick, really. He looks all right. Yeah, the AZ player has tried an overhead kick. He's kicked Solanke in the head, and somehow the ref's not given a foul, and therefore AZ have a throw in a... He's actually studded Solanke in the neck. Completely ridiculous. Anyway, Spurs actually did get the free kick. That's good. Okay. I take it back then. As Romero goes down the line to Odebear, who's under pressure and gives it away. And they're in here down the left here. Chance outside the box here. And Bergvall gets in a great position and intercepts. I love that. And he sets Sonny free. And this is where the first time Sonny's had genuine space to run into. He's driving at the back box now, Sonny. Comes narrow. Can he go outside? And chance! Oh, and it's blocked really well. But Sonny gets the ball back and then takes a heavy touch. Needs to find someone here. Okay, comes to Bergvall on the left. He's going to have a dig, I think, Bergvall. Oh, and it's just over the bar. Good stuff from Spurs. That was better from Son. Bergvall started that chance with a brilliant interception. AZ were in a great position, and Bergvall read it fantastically. And then he found Son, and then didn't just wait. He followed it up as well, and ended up with the shot over the bar after Sonny's shot was blocked. And of course, AZ, another player going down with a pretend head injury. See what happens here. Porro goes up for a header. No, I guess, does he get anything? I don't think it's a clash of heads. "37 minutes gone. Tottenham 1, AZ Alkmaar 0. And Alkmaar cleverly using this as an opportunity. So I'll get into the comments and see what you guys are all saying. Philly Hotspur. Barnaby watch-along vibes. Gardy says, most of us genuinely don't know what some profiles do in this sport. Possession teams need profiles and personalities like Madders who make them have a different edge. I agree. Brilliant from Solanke. So selfless and picked out Odebear. Brilliant number 9 play. They're just showing the replay of the goal, sorry, in case that wasn't clear. And you've got to give credit to Sonny. His pressing led to that goal. Well done, Son. The ball was bobbling a little bit as it came to Odebear, so he did well to keep it down, stick it in the top corner. And Big Ange gives it the big double-handed fist. Come on. Now, come on, Spurs. Let's get the next one. The game started again. Van der Ven plays out wide to Spence. And I have to say, I think Alkmaar needed that little break there because they've been under pressure. Romero gives it into Porro, comes deep for him. Porro turns. He tries a little dink ball towards Solanke. That wasn't the right decision, but Bergvall follows up and plays down the line. Unfortunately, Odebear can't get there. That's a throw to Alkmaar. Alkmaar nicking about 30 yards with that throw. And then we try and clear it. And then Spence is going to win a big high header in midfield. Sonny's up for the next one, flicks it on. Klaassen does quite well, actually, and brings it down. And Alkmaar have the ball just in their own half. Solanke pressing. And they go over the top of Spence. Bergvall with another brilliant tackle. What a game he's had so far. Van der Ven given a dodgy ball by Spence there. And Spence is in a lot of trouble here, but he goes round the corner and drives and then dives in and gives the ball away. And here's a chance for a cross. Flicked on, they're in at the near post. They're in. But Vicario dives at the feet. Great keeping from Vicario. Spence inside to Madders. Not been in the game so much, Madders, in the last 10 minutes, but Bergvall is having a worldie of a game so far. Been so impressed with him. Bergvall gives it to Romero, who goes short to Sarr. And Bergvall driving through midfield. And that should be a booking. That should be a booking because he's driving at the back line. They take it quickly out to Maddison. Sonny now with some space down the left, driving at his fullback. Oh, does well. Chance on. Oh, his shot is deflected. Oh, and then Odebear had a chance as well. Good stuff from Son. Son is improving into this game. He's not quite getting holds of his shot yet, Sonny, but that was better. Took the ball, drove at his fullback, drove in between the two players covering him, and then got his shot away. AZ with the goal kick now. Go long again over the top of Porro, but Romero's there. Parrott holds it up well, and now Poku is at Porro. Sarr coming to help him. Good stuff from Spurs. It wasn't Sarr, actually. It was. That was better from Sarr helping Porro out. Oh, and one good ball finds Classy absolutely free in midfield. So he goes to the right and goes down the line. Spence blocks that ball back, and so they have to go back towards the halfway line. Well done, Jed Spence. I'm sure it shouldn't be as easy as that just to play one straight ball through midfield. Brilliant from Bergvall again, but good stuff from the Alkmaar midfielder to keep it away from him. He nearly got an interception on that. Ball comes back to Vicario. We're at 42 minutes and 16 seconds at the moment on my feed. Just suffered from a little bit of buffering there. Vicario has the ball at his feet. Just find Mickey van der Ven. He doesn't. He gives a bit of a poor ball out to Romero, actually, who then has to dink it over the top. And Parrott is in as a result. Romero, man. And it led from Vicario's bad first ball, I have to say. Brilliant from Van der Ven here, just driving out with the ball. This is what he offers. And he goes long, tries a bit of a weird one. And then the Alkmaar clear direct. Bergvall in a good position. Goes back. Maddison 50-50. And Poku's switched sides over to the right now. So he's running at Spence. I have the ball at the left-hand side now. That was Spurs' first mistake with the ball at their feet from the back. Tottenham now putting the press on Alkmaar around the halfway line. They try and dink it over Spence towards Poku, but Van der Ven covers it and plays a lovely first-time ball to Spence. He gives it inside to Bergvall. He goes back to Spence. Not a great ball, who's fouled, but Madders comes and helps him out. Plays a good ball inside to Solanke. Takes it beautifully on the half turn and tries the ball across to Odebear, but just kind of shanked it a bit. That's such a shame. That's such a shame. Kind of 1 minute left of this half. I can't imagine there'll be much added time. They've had a few players down, but probably 2 minutes, I would expect. That was a shame because Solanke had done the hard work in midfield there and found some space. He could have done it a bit easier, but good to see his confidence with trying to play the big dive. But it's like he picked up some turf before getting the ball. As Spurs press them all the way back to their keeper now. And he goes to the dink for the dink over the fullback, who goes with a header. And Bergvall wins, and Spence goes for the second one, and Spurs get a throw. Good stuff from Bergvall. He's a proper all-action midfielder, Bergvall. Love him. Spence takes the throw to Van der Ven. And I would go so far as to say Mickey Van der Ven being in this team, brilliant ball from Romero to Spence. Does really well. Now, can you find a good ball here, Spence? Comes wrapped the other way. I was going to say, having Van der Ven and Romero in this team gives us about 10 to 15% more. That's how good they are. Maddison goes into Solanke. It was a difficult ball for Solanke. It's cleared by AZ, but Bergvall picks up the loose one. Goes down the line to to Son, whose first time ball is poor, and AZ clear it again. And it's a good dink into midfield to Parrott. But Van der Ven using his strength, and Porro helps him out. Good stuff. And Porro tries the dink over the top to Son, who's got space. Lovely from Porro. Go on, Son, drive, step over and get to the byline. He doesn't. He comes narrow and tries the cross, and it hits the first man. Thought he could have got to the byline maybe there. And now they're going to look on the transition. It is 2 minutes added, and they go long over the top. But Romero on his chest. Brilliant from Romero. Finds Porro. Comes inside to Bergvall. He's got some space in midfield. Come on, Bergvall. Do it. He comes back the other way. Plays it inside to Porro. He wins a free kick, surely. Brilliant from Spurs. Brilliant from Spurs, because that is a free kick in a really dangerous area at the end of the half. It's on the inside right position, but it came from Romero being strong to re-win the ball back, which is what Van der Ven and Romero have been doing all day. And then Porro did really well to get his body in between the ball and the man, and he goes over. And it's Maddison and Porro over the free kick. They're arguing over it a little bit, but it's on the right-hand side anyway. Just whatever they do, make the fucking goalkeeper make a save for once. And Sonny is now coming to Porro to tell him to chill out. Just play as a team, boys. It doesn't matter who takes the free kick. Give it to the one who's most likely to do something. Porro's annoyed. Come on, Madders. This will be the last action of the half, I predict, unless Spurs find a way to give away a transition. And it's Madders. It's the kind of the wrong side for a right footer. I guess we don't really have a left footer in the team, but the fans trying to get. If we could score now, it would be absolutely magic. Just Madders. Make him make a fucking save. Come on, Madders. This is why we bought you to club. Here we go. He has a dig, and it's flicked over by the wall. We've got to take this quickly for a corner. And Madders complaining because there was no way it was 10 yards. Got to get this in quickly because it's going to be half time. Come on, Spurs. Let's have a good delivery here. They're taking their time over it, and they're being idiots about it. It's going to be an outswinger. Here it comes. Edge of the box, Madders again. Has a volley. And that is half time. Okay. So, at half time, it is Tottenham 1, AZ Alkmaar 0, 1-1 on aggregate. And it has been a good performance from Spurs. The only goal scored by Wilson Odebear. Spurs haven't made any real gilt-edged chances, but as the half has gone on, we've started getting in down the left with Sonny Moore and had some more shots. Shots from Son that have been blocked, the shot from Bergvall over the bar. And AZ Alkmaar will be glad of the rest at half-time because they've had to work incredibly hard getting across side to side. And like I've just said, the unbelievable amount that Romero and Van der Ven improved this team, it honestly... it almost doesn't bear thinking about because we are able to keep the ball in their final third because every time they clear it, Van der Ven or Romero win it, bring it down on the chest, and we start again. Bergvall also having an excellent game. Sarr not really in it. I was quite critical of Sonny early in the game, but he is improving. He is working his way into this match. But at the moment, it is level on aggregate. Tottenham will need to continue to play this way and try and break them down. Alkmaar will just try and play the same way. They're playing very direct. At the start of the game, the first 25 minutes or so, they were just looking for the long ball over the top of Pedro Porro to Poku, but they've since changed Poku over to the right-hand side. I doubt he'll get much change out of Spence and Van de Ven, so it wouldn't surprise me if pretty soon, if not at the beginning of the second half, he'll go back to try and make the most of Porro. It's been a good performance from Spurs. It's been one of the best performances from Spurs in a long, long time, but we need to now get the next goal and then another goal. That's what we need. A proper, I still would say what I said in the opening. We will need 3 goals to go through in this game in normal time. And I think we're going to need the next one. Alkmaar haven't made any gilt-edged shots, but we've given away a couple of silly free kicks. And, we don't look strong from those. We gave away a kind of free header from a corner or a deep free kick, I think it was. Anyway, this is my minute by minute. Second minute, I've made a note. Alkmaar already cheating and wasting time with a fake head injury. 5th minute, written Spurs in control. Alkmaar just playing deep and will be comfortable with that. 6th minute, good stuff from Spurs through midfield with Solanke holding it up. But not for the first time. Even in those first 6 minutes, Son made the wrong decision and Spurs lose the ball. 8th minute, beautiful stuff from Van de Ven showing what we've missed. And he's done this time and time again, where he gets the ball off Vicario. And instead of just, as maybe Danso would in that position or Archie Gray would in that position, turning back and giving it to Vicario in a difficult position, he uses his pace to get away from the pressing striker and goes down the line. And that adds so much to our game. 9th minute, I've written horror start from Son. He's made 5 terrible mistakes already. Poor passes. Lovely cross from Madders in the 10th minute from the left, whipping it in. Well cleared by AZ Alkmaar. 11th minute, I've written cagey start. No chances so far. 12th minute, brilliant. The best bit of play from Wilson Odobert up to that point in a Spurs shirt. He was caught on the ball in the centre of midfield with 3 men around him, and he didn't have a passing option, so he just beat them all. He beat them all, and then he found Son, and Son, unfortunately, kind of slowed the ball down on the left-hand side. But that was brilliant from Odobert, gave him confidence. 15th minute, brilliant tackle from Romero. It was a slide-in tackle. He had to make it because there was a huge transition in down the left. Not only did it stop the attack for Alkmaar, but also it kept the ball on the pitch. And just a second or so afterwards, then Spence did brilliantly to win the ball back after we'd lost it. 22nd minute, a Porro mistake led to Van de Ven having to be brilliant with a sliding tackle, saving us down the left-hand side as well. 25th minute was when we gave away the first of those free kicks, and Romero, who was caught one-on-one down the kind of his right-hand side by Poku, I think he kind of had to give away that free kick because Poku was at the byline, and because they didn't deal with it well, because Alkmaar didn't, have a really good chance, you'd say that was probably the right decision. Then, just 1 minute later, showing that was the right decision, the goal, Odobert. I've been slagging off Son up to that point, but to be fair to him, he worked really hard to press their fullback. And as he tries to clear it, it hits Son and falls to Solanke in the box. Solanke's first touch wasn't great, allowed defenders to get towards him. So he looks up and sees that Odobert's made a great run in at the back stick, finds him, and Odobert sweeps it into the roof of the net with his left foot. Beautiful stuff, selfless from Dominic Solanke. Unbelievably good number 9 target man play. 27th minute, Son loses the ball again in an easy position. I've written a note. The fullback had him in his pocket up to that point, 27 minutes. Then 29th minute, I've just written how I'm enjoying Spurs sometimes chipping the ball towards Solanke for him to win headers and for us to fight for scraps off him. Vicario also tried one straight long ball and Odobert very nearly got on the end of it. So a few examples of what having our best players in the team is allowing us to do in terms of tactical differences and tactical tweaks. 30th minute, great stuff from Jed Spence down the left, intercepted a ball and drove towards the box. Alkmaar managed to defend it, but it put thoughts in their heads as to how we're going to do things differently and how they have to watch for Spence as well. 33rd minute, brilliant from Van de Ven, and Solanke led to a Son run in at the box into his right position. His favoured position was right foot, but his shot was easily saved. He was just outside the box, maybe 5-10 yards outside the box, and I thought maybe he could have passed it out wide, but worth him having a shot. Easy save for the keeper. 34th minute, I've written in capitals, ridiculous foul from Maddison outside the box, gave AZ a great chance to get the ball in, but they weren't able to do anything from it. And then the 36th minute, I've written brilliant from Bergvall, who intercepted a pass from AZ when they were in a great position driving at our box, and then set Son free, who drove at the box, had a shot blocked, and then he found Bergvall, whose shot was just over the bar. I think Bergvall's had a great game. 39th minute, a little attack broke towards Poku, and Vicario did well to dive at his feet. 40th minute, I've written Bergvall having an amazing game so far. More good stuff this time from Son, cutting into the box, and his shot was blocked. This was when Son was really improving into the game. 42nd minute really led to the only chance we've given, or bit of interest we've given to the AZ Alkmaar team in our final third, when a poor ball from Vicario to Romero, there just wasn't much on it. And Romero, as a result, had to try and dink it into midfield, and he found the head of the Alkmaar midfielder who had it straight to their player on the edge of the box, and he had a volley which was just wide. Just looking at the stats, 60% possession to Spurs, 2 shots on target, 2 shots off target, 298 total passes to 200 passes for Alkmaar, 2 corners for Spurs. And then in added time, great play from Spurs led to a free kick outside the box. Maddison had a little bit of a scrap with Pedro Porro over who was going to take it. In the end, Maddison won that fight. Maddison, who before that free kick had been complaining to the ref about how he didn't think it was 10 yards out the wall, 10 yards away, and as a result, it actually hit the wall. So that is the first half. Gardu says in the comments, likely both Romero and Van de Ven will be subbed in the second half. Can't imagine Van de Ven is ready for 90, let alone 120-ish. Van de Ven first for Davis, Archie later, maybe around 80 for Romero. QT could push 90, not more. Honestly, Gardu, I really hope you're wrong. I really think this is all or nothing this tie, and you have to play them. There's no point taking them off in the hope that they're not injured for Fulham. There's no point in playing Fulham if, in playing our best team against Fulham if we're out of this tournament. And possibly even if we go through, I would rest them against Fulham. So I think let's not worry about subbing the 2 players who I think are leading us to having our best game of the season so far. Just the way that they push up the pitch and the way that they're able, with their attributes, to break the press and do things different than we've been able to do for months. That is the key to this at the moment. Scribble Scrabble says, Sarr not having a great game so far. Hope he makes a cross again in the second half. Yeah, because of that cross goal he scored, of course, against Bournemouth. He's not in it, but he's working hard. Phil DeRoom says, been difficult to get a good shot on goal with 10 AZ players defending in the box. Let's have a ding from outside the box. That may change a little bit in the second half because AZ may get deeper and deeper, and that will give us more space outside the box for shots and crosses and the like. Rubiette says, hi Barnaby, what substitutions would you make in the half time? Some are yelling to take off Sarr. What do you think? No, I wouldn't take anyone off at half time. I really wouldn't take anyone off at half time. I think for the first time in a long time, as manager, you say, I think you were playing really well here. You're playing really well, so stay in together. And Spurs, they're just showing in the replays, Tottenham being aggressive, Tottenham winning the ball back with some good tackles in midfield, or Romero getting angry with Troy Parrott, and Romero was shouting at Parrott there. I didn't see that. It was a little bit of a late tackle from Parrott on Romero, made him annoyed. Malik says Spurs going to destroy. 3-0 to Spurs, Dom to score. Simon Twiddell says thoughts on Sarr and Gray on. Also, this Gray thing, we haven't seen Gray in midfield for Spurs, so it seems highly unlikely to me that he's going to bring Gray on at half time of the most important game of the season. I think Sarr's doing okay. He's just not really in the game, which is to be expected because what Sarr benefits from is breaking the lines and making late runs past the opposition defence. And in fact, the one time he did that when I think it was Sonny, wasn't it? Or Madders, who got a great cross in. Sarr had made that deep run. And that's what we need to do more of. I keep Sarr on for now, for sure. Anthony says, we did well to score considering they're putting 10 behind the ball. Absolutely. TSOM agrees with me. League is over. A whole season hinges on this game. And that's why I'm thinking you do not take off Van de Ven and Romero. Unless they get injured, unless they get tight, you don't take them off at the moment. Jack Legros says, how in heaven's name can we not beat this team? No excuses tonight. Well, AZ are playing deep and they're playing hard. Hard to beat. It is hard to beat these teams. But the game will get stretched. 65th minute. Tottenham have a strong bench. Bring on some finishers maybe at that point. But we need to get the next goal. We need to get the next goal. But it has been a good performance. CSJ says, all or nothing tonight. Patch says, many of our players are on fire. We're winning this. I hope you're right, Patch. I really hope you're right. Guys, once again, thank you so much for your support. Over 2,500 of you watching this concurrently at the moment. If you haven't already, please do press the like button, especially if you're watching on YouTube. Press that like button because that will enable more Spurs fans to watch this. Please also subscribe to Chris's channel if you're not already subscribed. It's at Chris Cowlin on YouTube. Also, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, I would love you to subscribe to my channel where I bring you daily Tottenham Hotspur news and views and interviews, transfer talk, all of it. You can see in the bottom left, youtube.com/at Barnaby Slater _. The underscore is all important. At Barnaby Slater _. Come and give me a subscribe there. Let's get me up to 15,000 subscribers. I am almost more nervous now at 1-0 up than I was at 0-0. It's weird how that happens, isn't it? I'm just so desperate for us to get the next goal. And then they will probably have to come at us. And that's not to suggest that we might not fuck it up from there, but that will leave spaces in behind. I've been impressed with Odegaard, not just because he got his goal, but stretching it. Let's get the ball out to him more. Get him running at his fullback more and making them double up on him so that then Sonny gets more space on the left. Bergvall, for me, has been man of the match at the moment. Let me know at the moment if you agree. Who do you think has been the best player for Spurs? Jed Spence, once again, putting in an absolute shift. What a player he is. I fully expect him to be picked for the England squad by Thomas Tuchel tomorrow. In terms of what's happening after this game, I will do the instant match reaction, of course. Then it will be the fan show where I'll talk to Spurs fans from around the world. And then after that, the Spurs Chat podcast will be back at 11 o'clock with Chris Cowlin. So keep across Chris's channel for all that Tottenham content. Adrian Simcox says Van de Ven has been good. He's been amazing. I completely agree. But he's just playing kind of Van de Ven ball. What an absolute player Mickey Van de Ven is. He is a colossus. And we need him fit and on the pitch. Forever, basically. Forever, we need Van de Ven and Romero fit to make the most of Ange Ball. Let's see what happens. Okay, guys. What are your predictions? Let me know your predictions in the comments. I've been saying all week that I fear it will go to penalties, and I'm not overly confident if that does happen. At the moment, I can't say that that's any further from my thoughts than it was immediately. Ron Tyler says, I think we need at least 2 more goals to make the tie safe. Yeah, I completely agree. Pat says, let's credit Sonny with the disciplined pressing, which created the opportunity for the goal. Yeah, I completely agree. Listen, he's made some bad decisions, but he's still wanting the ball all the time. And you know he's the player that you want really in an elite position if we make a properly good chance. So keep him on the pitch. He's the captain. Let's play him into good form. There's nothing I'd want more than Sonny to get a goal today and for us to go through and for us to then go to play Eintracht Frankfurt in the quarterfinals in what would be an incredibly difficult 2-legged tie. I think if I'm Ange right now, I don't make any substitutions. I see how that second half starts. They had to do a lot of defensive work in that first half, AZ Alkmaar. A lot of defensive work, side to side. I know they had the weekend off, but it will start to get into their legs around 60, 65 minutes. And there will be space for Spurs to run at. And that is where Brennan Johnson could really come to the fore in this game. Maybe that's where Sonny comes off. You bring Sonny off maybe 70 minutes, 65 minutes, bring Brennan Johnson to the right, and you bring Odegaard to the left. If Odegaard is able to play 90 minutes, he should be able to because he's been out for so long that he should have a lot of energy. Simon Twiddle says, prediction, more on for Sonny with 25 minutes to play and more scores a brace. Mate, he's not going to bring Mikey Moore on. He's not. I find it incredibly... The only way I think he brings Mikey Moore on is if we start losing this tie and he's looking for a bit of magic out of nothing. Moore hasn't even been in the squad for recent games. So do not expect him to be one of the early substitutions. TSOM says it will continue like this. We'll need a stroke of luck to get a second. Pressure in the crowd may force a mistake. Yeah, listen, they're playing incredibly deep. They are getting back in shape incredibly quickly. And that is hard for Spurs. That's why Spurs are playing a lot of one-touch stuff, trying to play it around corners, trying to move them around. But maybe that'll change a little bit with as the game kind of spaces out and as the Spurs players back on the pitch. And I can't see any changes, and I'm pleased about that. And they're in a little huddle here. Come on, Tottenham. Real chance to bring everything round now in this half, to bring the fans back round behind you for the rest of this season. Come on, you Spurs. And AZ are actually making a sub. Sadiq coming off, David coming on. Glenn Hoddle saying stuff in the studio like we just got to be quicker and open them up. It's not as easy as that. It's not as easy as that against a team like this. But we are shooting towards the south stand in the second half. Come on, boys. Come on. Let's hope that they've had 6 masseurs on Mickey van der Ven's hamstrings at halftime. Oh, and they're in down the right straight away. Really naive defending there from Jed Spence, I have to say. And Van der Ven helps him out. But they're in a good position here. Oh, and Spence nearly gave away a foul there, but Van der Ven sweeps up and then gives the ball outside him. So Van der Ven will have to clear here. Oh, and then Spence has given it away again. A little bit of laissez-faire defending starts this half, and now they're in a good position here. They're in a good position here outside the box, and that's a foul for Spurs. Madder's got himself back. A little bit just late... Laissez-faire, I'll say, from Spence there, just giving the ball away easily. And Madders getting himself involved in a little scrap there. Yeah, Madders was fouled just outside the box. Van der Ven helps Spence out. Okay, Vicario goes out to Van de Ven. He plays one over the top towards Solanke to chase. I love that. And as a result, we win a throw in high up the pitch. I just love that we try and do things a bit differently. And we've taken the throw quickly. Son. AZ back in their positions, of course. He plays it down line towards Spence. Getting to the byline. Goes back to Madders. Can he get a cross in here, Madders? He tries it early. Comes into the box, but cleared by AZ twice. But Sarr had made a run into the box as well, which is good. And Van de Ven clears the first one. And Romero goes back to Vicario. He's being pressed quite high here. He's got to get rid. Oh, Vicario has done something mad and gets away with it. Kicks it off the pitch. Tried a Cruyff turn. And well cleared there. And Solanke holds it up nicely and finds it out wide to Odobert, whose first touch is heavy, unfortunately. Alkmaar popping it about in midfield now. Oh, brilliant in midfield, though, from Porro. And now we are running, and that's a yellow card should be there. Maddison, is it? No, Solanke. Maddison lays it outside to Son. He's on the left side. He's going to have a shot here. Maddison, chance! Goal! Tottenham Hotspur! James Maddison! Come on! Come on! Fuck yes! Brilliant finish! Porro! Porro is the one who nicked it in midfield. Found Maddison, who drove through the midfield, lays it out to Son, who gives it back to Maddison. Brilliant little win in midfield from Porro. Finds Maddison. Actually, it's Odobert with the first one. Odobert finds Maddison, who lays it out to Son. And Son comes inside and then finds Madders, opens his body up. Beautiful finish from 14 yards. Now we need the next one as well. And Big Ange with the double hands up. He loves that. And Madders with the darts. Now Spurs keep going. Play smart. And let's get the next one. AZ go with the direct one. They've got 3 up. But Porro wins the header. Well done. AZ are going to win the next one. Oh, and a nick in midfield as well. And now Sarr is driving through the midfield. Oh, but he tried to beat the man and he shouldn't. He should have held it up. Now AZ have it in midfield. And they're coming to the right-hand side now. Poku up against Spence. He's going to try and drive it down the line. It comes inside. Spence in a good position. Now a cross is going to come in. We don't... Oh, it comes to Parrott. And well blocked by Romero. And that all came from a cross. Because you know that AZ are going to try and... Oh, dear. Sonny's played a bad ball inside and Bergvall helps him out. And that's a foul on Bergvall, but he does brilliantly through midfield. He's in down the right now, Bergvall. He gives it out to Odobert, and Bergvall has made a second run for him, so Odobert can come narrow. And he does. Who's with him? Nobody at the moment, so he gives it to Maddison and Porro now. He's going to get a cross in, Porro. Oh, and Solanke nearly got on the end of it. Bergvall with a beautiful first-time ball out to Son, who's in the box. Get outside him, Spence. Oh, and Son makes the wrong decision again. And Bergvall is there again. Oh, Bergvall is playing unbelievably. Oh, and Spence loses it. Oh, good ball. But Mickey Van de Ven wins it off Parrott. The ball was up to Parrott in our half. Van de Ven just uses his strength. Good ball from Romero into Sarr, who wins it, gets it on the half turn, and now just comes across the pitch. I don't know why, because there's no one there for him. Gives it into Spence. Comes back to Sarr. Spurs playing with a bit more confidence now, but we need the next goal big time. Bergvall is playing ridiculously. Oh, Romero with a brilliant ball to Sarr, whose first touch is great. And he finds Son out wide left. Sonny running at the box now. What are you going to do, Sonny? Find Sarr. Oh, is he offside? Oh, Son, what are you doing? Oh, Bergvall wins it high again. Matters. Now, I did say at halftime, didn't I? We need to get the next goal, and then AZ will have to do something a bit different, and the game has stretched out. That is for sure. And Joe Hart's talking about it on co-coms. And the fans getting behind it. As Matters plays it out wide left to Spence. Son trying to give him some space, but Spence goes to the byline, and that should be a corner. It's not given as a goal kick, and Man United apparently have gone in front against Sociedad as well. And that was a huge chance for Sonny, who was in down the left. I don't know if he would have been offside, but he's basically at the byline. He just has to cross it. And he was caught in two minds, I think. And in the end, he just kind of kicks it off the pitch. AZ go direct with this one. Romero wins the first one. I think he kind of shoulders it away there, Romero. Just don't want him to get complacent. Now Romero actually bounces to him. Takes a heavy touch there. He needs to win that. Needs to win the second one. Doesn't, but the ball comes straight to Solanke now. We're running at the box. Solanke beats his man. Solanke, big chance. Tries to cross it. It's a corner. Great forward work from Solanke. Bergvall trying to get the crowd to get up for the game, but just do it on the pitch, Lucas. Just do it. You might be talking to some of his family there because they're blonde. Porro clapping the crowd, but don't worry about stuff like that. Just get the next goal. Come on, Tottenham. Come on. Porro's taking time over this. I don't know why. Let's get the momentum. Actually, I think the linesman's stopping him from taking it. Let's be careful on the transition as well, assuming that we don't score from this because we don't really score from set pieces. I hope I'm wrong. I'm trying to unjinx it. Here comes Porro with the outswinger. It's a good delivery. Oh, and Sarr was racing in on it. Comes to the edge of the box with Son. Oh, he does well. He's driving at the box here, Son. And he finds Porro. Can he get it across the front? It's another. It's blocked, and that's a throw-in. It's a shame that Porro couldn't get one in between the keeper and the back line there, but that's what he was trying to do. Porro with the throw now. It's like he's trying to hold up time here, Porro. Don't hold up time. Use some momentum here. Come on, put them under pressure. And Porro goes backwards now to Romero. Surely. Oh, he plays one in between the lines to Matters. Beautiful stuff. Leads to Odebear down the right. He tries the dink, and that's another corner. Great football from Spurs here. Really good football from Spurs. Spurs' fourth corner, and Odebear is standing over this corner, which is a surprise, which would make me think he's going to take it short, and he does. First time short, crossed. Oh, nearly comes to the edge of the box, but it nearly came to the backside, but now Maddison with the ball. Anyone going to give Spence an option? He has to come back narrow to Madders. Madders will find Odebear, I'm sure, down the right, and he does. And Odebear's got some space to run into, gives it to Porro instead. And Porro is now running at the back line. Tries to give it to Odebear, and Bergvall once again winning the loose ball. And that gives him a huge round of applause from the fans, and rightly so. Vicario now has the ball. He's going to try a straight long one, is he? No, he goes wide right to Madders, who's come deep for him. Madders can't go back to Vicario. He's going to have to try and... Oh, lovely ball up to Odebear. First touch wasn't great, but he's held it up. And that's a foul on Porro. Good stuff from Porro. And the good thing about this is no longer can AZ kind of feign injury, dive on the floor and try and ruin our rhythm because they need a goal. I wonder if you're their manager, though, you try and get a message onto the pitch to just be like, stay as you are for now. Get towards the kind of last 15, make it where they can make Spurs nervous. Romero looking for a paradise ball here, and he shouldn't have done. And as a result, they are on the transition here, and Van de Ven's going to have to use his afterburners. He's being outpaced here, Mickey. Stand up, Mickey. And he uses his strength outstandingly. Oh, and then Spencer's given it away for the third time this half. And that all came from Romero's decision to go paradise. And Bergwall does well to give away a corner there. What is Romero doing? That's complacency there. So frustrating from Romero there. He doesn't have to try the paradise ball. Stand up here. They've taken it short. Oh, big chance on the edge of the box. Oh, Classy hits it wide. A bit of luck for Spurs. And Vicario was getting nowhere near that. And that is a bit of luck from Spurs. A well-worked short corner routine. And it all came from Romero being absolutely bonkers from a free kick that we had. A free kick that we had in our own half. He just has to do it easy. And he tries something stupid between the lines. No need. And they're on a transition straight away. And Van de Ven had to save us with his pace and strength, which he did brilliantly. But it ended up leading to a corner because Bergwall got involved, and rightly so. But we don't need to do anything stupid. And this is where sometimes things need to change in games. I guess this is kind of, maybe I'm being a hypocrite because I'm also loving how Romero's passing is between the lines is doing today. But they're just showing Maddison's goal. Great finish. Let's make some more chances for Madders in the box like that. Anyway, it comes to Vicario. He lays it out to Romero on the right-hand side. And he dinks one over the top towards Odeberg. He was never going to win that one, but it should win Spurs a throw-in, and it does. Bergwall just everywhere on this pitch at the moment, trying to put out fires. Tottenham 2, AZ 1, 58 minutes gone. We need the next goal here. Come on, Tottenham. We need the next goal. Porro with the throw. He goes backwards to Romero. Slows it down. And he tries a ball between the lines into Solanke, who tries the touch. Oh, and that nearly worked out through the middle. And Spence is in a bit of trouble here, but Van de Ven helps him out beautifully. And Spence goes out wide, but Sonny wasn't ready for it, and he's been fouled in the midfield again. How many times are they going to plough through us in central midfield? Good free kick to win there from Sonny. Got his body in between the fullback and the ball. And that should probably have been a booking. I think it's happened numerous times. And now Archie Gray is coming on. 60th minute. Please, God, don't be one of the centre-backs. Please, God, don't be one of the centre-backs. Fuck! It's Van de Ven. I can't believe that. It's going to make a huge difference. What is... they're taking Van de Ven off. And Joe Hart is saying, oh, you know, you've got to... He looks comfortable and you've got to be careful with him. He can't be... I don't know. I feel like we can't be careful with him because we've got to go through this game. Fucking hell, it's going to make a huge difference. I love Archie Gray. Of course I do. But this is going to give AZ a spur on for sure. I don't want him to get injured long term. Of course I don't. But this is everything. I might have been tempted to bring Davis on ahead of him, to be honest, for the balance. He's getting huge, huge chant from the Spurs fans. Odeberg some space down the right now. Coming narrow. Gives it into lovely 1-2 with Solanke. Opens it out now to Son. He's got to take a good touch to Spence, and he does. It's just a bit behind Spence, but he can give it back to Son. And does. Sonny Comes back to the left. Tries a cross. Cleared, but a chance on the edge of the box for Porro, and he hits it wide. Spence with a very high press there and gives away a foul. But as a result, they are in through the midfield now. Oh, and then they luckily play a poor pass. And Madders now has a lot of space to run into midfield. And Spurs have men forward. It's about 4-on-4 here. Comes the other way. Oh, and then plays one of the worst balls I've ever seen Madders play to Jed Spence. Has to put it right behind him. Spence does keep it on, but as a result, where it was like a 5-on-5, AZ Alkmaar now all back in shape. Spurs have the ball in midfield. Don't know what happened with Madders there. And Archie Gray pushed all the way back to Vicario. And that is the difference. Where Van der Ven could take the ball on his left, just putting us in more difficult positions. Romero plays the ball between the lines. It's beautiful to Solanke. Holds it up well to Madders. And Madders goes outside first time to Son. Spence not trying to get outside Son here, which is a surprise. But Sonny running at his man. Beats his man. Beats two men. Beautiful from Son. Oh, and Son nearly got in, but in the end, the keeper. That was brilliant from Sonny. Oh, and now they go in behind Archie Gray straight away. Why have Spurs got so few men back? And Odebear it is working hard. Oh no, we've given it away. Big chance. What the fuck are you doing? You fucking idiots. Why has he taken off Van der Ven? That's 2-2. I told you. I said it would give them a fucking huge lift that Van der Ven goes off the pitch. So they get the ball straight away down that channel. In behind Archie Gray. And it's 2-on-2. And even after that, Odebear does well to get back. But then, why have we made that change? Why have we made that change? It's Odebear and... Basically, Odebear and Bergvall leave it to each other. And then he finishes it. And Joe Hart calls it calamitous, and it was. And do you know what it comes from? I'm sorry. Do you know what it comes from? It comes from the manager saying to them all the time, just play the ball around, just play it around. No, sometimes there, if Odebear comes back, gets a touch on it and a chance to clear it, fucking clear the ball. What is the point of taking Van der Ven off in the game where if you lose your job? What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Never in doubt. Never fucking in doubt with Tottenham. Yeah, they switched off. They made a sub they didn't need to make, and they brought the opposition back into the game. Fucking idiotic. Maddison gives it to Spence in midfield. Spence loses the ball. Wins a free kick, thankfully. That was AZ's first shot on target, and we just gifted it to them. I can see it now in the post-match press conference. I had to protect Van der Ven. I had to protect Van der Ven. Do you have to protect Van der Ven? You're going to lose your job, mate. You're going to lose your job. Bergvall now breaking through midfield. This game has become a basketball match, but you would think that AZ will shut up shop now, looking to get us to extra time. Fucking idiots. And there's Archie Gray now. Trying to get it out on his wide. Oh, and Son could have played that first time. Son's tackled. Wins a foul. That fucking fullback has given away so many fouls. Any danger of the ref giving a yellow card? Madders to Son, who's driving. Plays it well into Spence, who's out wide. Plays the early cross, but it's cleared. Sonny with a great first touch. Driving again. Oh, and he's pushed. But comes to Odebear, whose first touch is poor. And AZ able to clear. And that should be a Spurs corner. And it is. Now Tottenham need to get the next goal again. It's 2-2 on aggregate. Giving it away. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm so angry at Ange Postecoglou. Because we saw Van der Ven go onto the subs bench. Didn't put ice on it. Nothing. No massage. Nothing. You are taking a liberty. You are taking a fucking liberty with this season. Porro, come on, boys. Let's get a set-piece goal. Come on, get the fans behind us again. Good corner. Comes all the way through. Sonny now picks it up outside the box. We haven't got a win on a set-piece, attacking set-piece. We haven't won the first header once. Spence to Maddison. And now AZ just in their shape again. Bergvall trying to beat his man. Well done. Lays it out to Odebear. So angry. Yes. Hart trying to say you got to think bigger picture. There is no bigger picture for Ange Postecoglou. Maddison. Son. Spence. He's down the line again. Come on, Jed. Be strong here. Plays it inside to Madders. He's got another chance to have a shot. Over the bar. Unlucky Madders. Oh, it's a great effort from Madders. From the inside left, just over the bar at the far corner. AZ making another change now. And we will give up chances. So AZ 1 goal and they're through and we're out. That's what could happen. So angry. I get it. I get it both ways. Yes, of course we want to fit Mickey van der Ven. Of course we do. But we're in momentum. We're at a pace of momentum. He wasn't having to do a lot of work. And then straight away it comes down his side. And AZ once again now just going long. And they're pinpointing Archie Gray now. And he loses the first header. And they're in. They're in. 1-on-1. They're in. They're in. Blocked. And Romero wasn't even in the back line because he's now got the ball running through midfield. Porro inside to Sarr. He's still on the pitch, not involved that much, but taking up some good spaces. And now you know what AZ are doing. They're just going long balls onto Archie Gray's head and winning the first one and looking to pick up the scraps. Brilliant. Odebear is into the box, gets pushed, but manages to get a ball back. Good cross from Odebear. Well done. He's playing well here, Odebear. We need to get the ball to him more. Porro now. Plays it inside to Madders. Plays it outside to Sarr. Comes back to Madders. Oh, he put too much on it, but Madders now tries the cross. It's deep, but no one is deep. Som's got in too narrow. And Spence, oh, I tell you what, he could have won penalty there, maybe, Spence. But anyway, keeps the ball. Using his strength here well, Spence. He was fouled. Yeah, wins a foul. Well done. Good opportunity for Spurs to get a free kick into the box here from wide left. I don't know what happened with that long ball, where Christian Romero was, because he was nowhere near the back line whatsoever. Now, come on, Spurs. Can we score a goal from a set piece? Come on, Tottenham. Change the habit of a lifetime. Stay on side, get a good delivery, make it difficult. And they've gone short. And Son, fucking useless. Don't go short. Just get the ball into the box. Kicks it off for a goal kick and the fans are at him. And Ange is at him. Ange, mate, you are literally in your last 20 minutes here, potentially. You've given AZ a chance. I don't know. Maybe in the comments you're all angry with me. I don't know. I'm not reading them at the moment. But maybe you're angry with me because I'm not talking about Van der Ven's injury. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Ange will come out and say Van der Ven's injured. I don't know. But it didn't look that way. Oh, Odebear, brilliant. Oh. We had this game. We had the momentum. AZ are way back into this game now. Bergvall does well in midfield and it finds Spence. And he could have gone short there to Saab. Instead, he tries a long ball over the top. But Solanke has won it. And Odebear with a chance to run down the right-hand side now. Go on. Skin him. And he's got a mate helped him out now. But Porro comes in. He's driving, Porro. Tries the dink, but it comes to Son at the back. He's one-on-one here. Chance, Son. Why did he take an extra touch? And now Poku in on the transition. Son took an extra touch completely unnecessarily then. Yeah. Joe Hart talking about how when Van der Ven was on the field and AZ were in transition, Spurs were going to him, but Spurs retreat now when they're on the transition. It's such a huge game state change. The fans trying to get behind the team. I'm getting to the point now where I've seen these games so many times, but probably not usually, where we've absolutely dominated the entire game and then made a fucking decision that has changed the game in every way. As they try the ball over the top of Romero, is it? Oh no, it's Archie Gray again, and he's been pulled out of position. Gray is having a nightmare here. He does well there, though. Wins the ball back. And wins a goal kick. Well done, Archie. That'll give him a bit of confidence. They're really pinpointing him. And Gray now going to Vicario. I don't know why we're doing this now. And Vicario goes long. Actually, it's a great ball up to Madders, and his touch is magnificent. Goes out to Son. Son's touch not great. Gives a bit of a dodgy ball to Spence. And AZ pressing us up the pitch now. And so Archie Gray has to go long. Kicks it off the pitch. This is wild how much this game has changed because of one decision. Absolutely wild. You've got to do something now, Ange. You've got to change it back. You've got to make a change. Don't just stand there with your hands in your pockets. Make a change. This is what so many people are complaining about with you, that you don't make the changes that work for the team. Well, you've literally done the opposite in this game, and you've got to change it back. The tempo has gone. The atmosphere has gone. The momentum has gone. And now we're hoping for a bit of magic or a mistake from them. The momentum is now with AZ, and Romero has just given the ball away, and Odebear has helped him out. Porro in trouble. Plays a horrible ball to Romero. Fucking Spurs, man. What are we doing? The fans getting on their back. Lovely on the half turn from Maddison. He's going to get fouled here. He doesn't. He's got to give it here, Madders. He does, to Spence. And he's got to give it out to Son. He puts it in front of Son. Son's driving at his man now. Get into the box. Give it to Spence. Gives it to Spence at the byline. Lovely football from Spurs. Goal! Tottenham! Odebear again. Be onside. Please be onside. Please be onside. What a goal. What a goal, if that counts. What a goal. Please, please, please count. Please. It was unbelievable football from back to front. It was Maddison who made it. We were under pressure, but on the half turn, he kind of dummies it. And now he drives through midfield. Brilliant from Madders. Finds Spence, who finds Son, and then Spence makes a secondary run outside Son. Son finds him. Cuts it back. He's onside. He's definitely onside. And Joe Hart calling it the perfect Ange Postecoglou goal. And actually, it's an assist from Solanke. And actually, I'm worried about that now. The first, I think he's onside. And I've been calling for Odebear to play on the right for a long time, and he's got 2 goals. Okay, it's 3-1. RZ now coming through the middle of the pitch. 75 minutes gone. Odebear turns away. Porro with a heavy touch. Finds Sarr. Back to Porro, and we're in down through the middle now. Brilliant. Porro's driving. Find the ball to Son. He doesn't. He goes to Madders first. Who goes outside him. Son. It's a poor ball, but Spence is outside him again. Goes outside him again. Can he cut it back? Oh, huge chance Solanke, but he didn't get hold of it. Bergwall outside the box now. Trying to keep the ball. Come on, Spurs, just play smart. Oh, and Odebear dummies his man to get outside him. Just win a throw in here, Odebear. Win a throw. And he does. He does. Well done. Now, don't make any stupid substitutions here, Ange. Don't try and fucking change it. Let them come on to us and then hit them. I've been calling for Odebear to play on the right for a while. And he's making 2 fucking substitutions. Basuma and Johnson. And he's taking Madders off. What is he fucking doing? What are you doing? It's like each time he thinks we've won the fucking game. We haven't won the fucking game. Who else is he taking off? Please not Odebear. It is Odebear. What the fuck are you doing? Taking all the creativity off the pitch. Honestly, mate. I'm desperate for it to work out for Ange, but he's making rods for his own fucking back here. If they equalise and go on to win this, it's all your fault, fucking Ange. Why are we now getting players into a position where they have to warm up to the game? And Romero's just given the ball away straight in midfield, and Poku's in down the right now at Spence, and they've got a man running again as well. Great strength from Spence. Wins it. And now Bissouma putting Archie Gray in trouble. Fucking hell! Straight away with fucking it up. I don't know. Maybe you're disagreeing with me in the comments. Maybe you are. But this makes me go mental. What is he doing? Did he not learn from last time? You make a fucking sub and then straight away they have to warm up into the game. They're cold. Gives AZ a little... They think, okay, we can make the most of this. And now Gray taking his goal kick short to Vicario. Gray now. Plays it down the line. Good position for Bergvall, but his first touch isn't great, but he still keeps it. Goes back to Archie Gray, who's got Bissouma with him, but he goes to Vicario. Vicario might have to go long here. He doesn't. He goes wide. Plays a fucking horrible ball out to Sarr. Sends me mental. Just by the decisions that we've made since scoring that goal, we're drawing AZ onto us, giving them a bit of confidence. Why would you take Maddison off? What if it goes to extra time? You need fucking creativity. AZ are in down the right here. They're in down the right. And they've got 2 over. They're in. They're in. And Vicario has saved us and Bissouma has saved us on the line. This manager, man, this manager... to corner. What is he doing? He's made changes that's drawn them on, and as a result, they just had a one-on-one, and then Vicario makes a save, and it falls to Parrott, and he has a shot. And Joe Hart's saying it's coming. Why has the manager made these changes? What the fuck is he thinking? You fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. Why do you... Anyway, here comes the corner. Bissouma marking someone. In swinger. Vicario claims. Well done, Vic. I honestly am at a loss. What are you fucking doing? Making players warm into the game at this period. And I've not been as angry as this all season. And Archie Gray asked to go down the line with his left foot. A brilliant flick from Son puts Spence in. Spence running at the fullback. He's got men outside him. He goes to... Plays a horrible ball. But Bergvall again. Body position is excellent. And he puts... We're in here. It's Sarr. We're in around their box here. Sonny now. Goes to Spence. He's got to be given a call. Spence finds Bissouma. Brings it out wide now to Porro. Looking for someone with him. We're into the last 10. Goes down the line. Oh, we try the 1-2 with Solanke. It didn't work out. It wasn't Solanke. It was Johnson, sorry. And AZ bring it out. Easily. Solanke's still working hard. Why? You know, you haven't brought Solanke off. And rightly so. Thank fuck. Yeah, RZ, the commentator saying RZ will be confident that they can get something. Of course they will, because Spurs being mental. Fucking mental. They play it between the lines easily. The fans trying to keep with us. Tottenham sitting deep here. Sarr just jogging around. And here they come out wide. Spencer's got to engage here. Stop the cross. Stop the cross. Didn't. Free header. Should be an equaliser. I cannot watch this. I cannot watch this. So embarrassing. We don't mark the back post. We don't stop crosses. Look at this. 3 players on the edge of the box jogging, and they've got a free header from 6 yards. I can't watch this last 10 minutes. I cannot watch it. What has Ange done? Why has he changed the game state? Now Bergvall's gone down. I think he's got some cramp. Not a bad decision from Bergvall to go down here to stop the momentum a little bit. What is going on? I'm going to check in the comments. Are you all agreeing with me? I don't know. Listen, there'll be the Spurs show after the chat show after this. You can send your messages in. I'll try and answer them. But he's taken off the player who scored 2 goals. He's taken off the player who's created and scored another goal. And somehow he's created a situation where, despite taking off all the creativity on the pitch, we aren't defending anymore. We've allowed them situations where they've been 2-on-2 and had 2 free headers at the back post. I cannot fucking believe what I'm seeing. It's like they think it's done. It's not done. Am I being mental? Are we 2 goals ahead and I don't realize it? No. Now they're bringing Ben Davies on. Not the worst fucking idea of all time, but I bet it's for Romero. I don't mind it. Yeah, 10 minutes left probably, including extra added. It's for Bergvall. Okay, so he's gone for a defensive decision. Not bad, considering how somehow we've left ourselves so open at the back since going a goal ahead. Bergvall's had a brilliant game. And straight away, yeah, and Vicario's deciding to go long. Good decision. Good decision. And the crowd actually applaud him. Okay. And Archie Gray has been moved into midfield. First time I've seen him in midfield for a long time. But AZ win balls up and they're in down the right-hand side again. Spence up against Poku, I think it is. Stand up, Spurs. He looked offside there. Not given. And he does give it offside this time. And this is where Tottenham need to be smart, like the teams we play against are smart against us. Go down, roll on the floor, break their rhythm, stop the game all the time. This is where we have to show some professionalism. Lucas Bergvall getting a huge round of applause off the side of the pitch as he walks around. I can't believe how angry I am considering how brilliant we were for, what, 55, 60 minutes? And Vicario goes long again. And Sonny's in down the left here, is it? Diving tackle stops him. And then Sarr comes to help and he's fouled. But he keeps the ball. He's got to go easy here, Sarr. He's going all the way back. And Ben Davies is going to go back to Vic, who's going to have to go long. Don't do anything stupid if it takes it onto his left foot and goes long. Okay. And now AZ Alkmaar are able to easily pick up the ball as Vicario goes long, but they go back to their keeper. 85 minutes gone. I cannot handle supporting this football club. I cannot handle it. And they go for the big diag. And Porro's nowhere near the win. But he's helped out by Brennan Johnson. And now Johnson does really well. Now drive, man. You've got room in front of you. Drive. And again, he loses it, Johnson. Poor! Romero is still on this pitch. Oh, he gives a horrible ball into Porro, but does well around the corner to Bissouma, who wants to go back to Porro, does well inside to Gray. He's got to get his body in the way here, and that's a foul. Well done, Archie Gray. And now it looks like AZ making one more sub, probably an attacking one. You know they're going to make another chance. Since we've scored, we've given them a one-on-one and a free header from 6 yards out. And Romero stands over this free kick. He had one of these free kicks in the first half where he did something stupid and gave them a transition. What's he going to do this time? He's trying to do something between the lines again. Gives it straight away. What are you doing? What is he doing? They put the press on the keeper, so he has to go long, up towards Spence. Wins the first one. Well done, Jed. That goes out for an AZ throw-in around the halfway line. Brennan Johnson needs to work his nuts off this last 5-10 minutes of the game, backwards as well as forwards. Bissouma wins a good header in half. That should be a foul to Spurs, not given on Sarr. So AZ now bring it forward. They bring it wide left. They're going to want to get into a crossing position. In fact, they come narrow. And they're looking to get it out wide right. And he's got so much space. Spence needs to get out of him. Stop the cross. Spence does well, so it comes back narrow. Tottenham now playing super deep. And here comes the cross to the back post. And Vicario comes to claim it beautifully. Well done. Into the 88th minute. Vicario taking some time on this. He's just going to kick it long. Don't mind it. And he does. Straight down the middle. And Johnson just challenging there. That's good stuff from Brendan Johnson. Solanke with the second one. Johnson needs to work here. He's jogging. You need to work. Okay, gets his body back in position. And then an offside decision given. So Alkmaar have the ball. Come on, Tottenham. Play smart here. Sarr, get back in midfield. Sarr is too far up the pitch here. Sarr, get back in fucking central midfield and pick up scraps. Okay, he's marking classy now. Maybe that's on purpose. Here they come down the right now. Spence being left, of course, one-on-one. Son trying to help him out. And now they go for the early cross. And it's free at the back post again here. They're outside the box, though. Now a chance to get in down the left. Cross blocked well by Porro. Into the 90th minute. Great. Kicks it off for a throw-in. AZ take it quickly. Backwards. Popping it about in midfield now. They're going to try and get it out to Poku again. And Son has to go out there. And he has to stop the ball going backwards to the fullback so that the cross doesn't come in. And Poku has made it to the byline. He's got his cross into the back post. And he's hit it wide. Hit the side netting. At least Johnson and Porro did have their bodies in the way. So now 4 minutes added. Come on, Spurs. Play smart. Play smart. Play smart. Don't give them anything. Come on, boys. Biggest part of your season. Tim Spurrier, please don't come into the green room until after the game. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see reactions until after the game. We've lost the ball in midfield there. It was Son. And Poku is down the right. And RZ have 5 men. He's running at Spence. Coming narrow. He wants to have a shot. Plays it into the box. Defended. And Sarr clears it. But just hacks it nowhere. Those of you coming in for the chat show, please don't come in until the end of the game. Thank you, guys. And now, RZ working it on the left-hand side. And they're free all the way over there on the right-hand side. What is going on with Spurs here? Oh, Sarr's got himself in a good position. That's going to be a corner. No, it's a goal kick. Well done, the referee. And well done, Pat Matassar. Great defending. 3 minutes to go. Sarr did brilliantly there to help out Jed Spence. And I think it could have been a corner, but it doesn't. It's given as a goal kick. Brilliant from Pap Sarr. Still got the energy going into this 93rd minute, 92nd minute. Come on, Pap. Come on, boys. And shouting at them because Vicario's kicking it long, but the crowd want him to. Ben Davis with a big header in midfield, but AZ do win it back. But Hart saying we should be playing it short, but we haven't been keeping the ball playing it short either. But a bad pass goes to Son, and he holds it up and goes backwards, and maybe he shouldn't. Turns the other way, Son. Does brilliantly. And then it's foul with what looked like a double-footed challenge, but not given as a foul. And Son is disappointed with that. And now AZ have the ball again. Less than 2 minutes left of added. Come on, Spurs. Play smart. And AZ going long now by the looks of things. Yeah. Going with the big one down the middle. They've got men forward. It goes over the top. Porro heads it back to Vicario. Just sit on it, Vic. And he does. Dives to the floor. 1.5 minutes left. Porro did well there to head it back to Vic. United are into the last day of the Europa League. Big result for them as Vicario goes long. Someone's got a challenge for this. It goes straight out over Brennan Johnson's head. And AZ get it back to their keeper. They've got a minute left. You know they're going to make a fucking chance. He goes long, straight down the middle. Actually, no, it's towards Poku, and it comes all the way to Vicario in the box. Well done, Vic. And he throws it out to Spence. Spence pressed straight away. Needs help here. Gives it inside to Bissouma. Don't do anything stupid here, Bis. And Bissouma in the end goes long over the top. Cleared by AZ. Sarr picks it up. Gives it into Dom. He's got to hold it. He's knocked off the ball, Solanke, and that was mad. He had to hold it. And now AZ coming through midfield. Fouled by Archie Gray. With 40 seconds left, AZ have a free kick to get it into the box. I think maybe Gray had to take that foul. Not the worst decision. But I said they're going to make a chance. This will more than likely be the last action of the half, and the keeper is forward. Spurs keeping their defensive line on the 18-yard box. They're going to whip this. Tim, can you go away, please? Can you go away? Sorry, but it's not the end of the game for me. Come on, Spurs. Defend, defend, defend. Here comes the in-swinger. It's to the back stick. RZ win the first one. Cleared by Solanke. Come on, ref, blow up. He's not blowing up yet. They're in down the right. The keeper's still up. It's the end of the game. Tottenham Hotspur have won the game 3-1. And I don't know, maybe a lot of you are going to be angry with me because I'm so aggressively angry about what happened. But the important thing is we're through into the quarterfinal of the Europa League. And they showed Daniel Levy on the sidelines. The first time Tottenham have reached the quarterfinals of the Europa League for many years. Last time they played Seville. That was tense. This is my instant match review to the Tottenham Hotspur 3, AZ Alkmaar 1, Europa League last 16 game. And Tottenham, the most important thing, Tottenham are through. 2 goals from Odegaard, 1 from Maddison. But my God, were we hanging on by the edge of our seats. And I have to say, I have to start towards the end of the game, or certainly the second half of the second half. Tottenham played the first 60 minutes of the game absolutely brilliantly. Absolutely showed how huge Van de Ven and Romero are for Tottenham Hotspur. They added 15-20% to that performance to what we've seen before. But listen, we won, so it'll look like it's the right decision now. But I was having kittens when he takes, when Ange Postecoglou took at 2-0 up, when we're absolutely dominating the game, all over them. The momentum is with us at 60 minutes, clearly pre-agreed. He takes Van de Ven off, and immediately we lost all the momentum. And immediately AZ Alkmaar started pinpointing Archie Gray down in that left-hand channel of the centre-backs, and they scored straight away from it. from a mistake between Bergvall and Gray, I think it was. No, Bergvall and Odebear letting the ball go to each other, and they score straight away. And we gave ourselves unnecessary trouble. But look, let's try and think of the positives. I've been saying it for months now, but actually, just don't play Romero and Van de Ven in the league. Don't. Just don't. Just wrap them in cotton wool because they make us 20% better. They're so good. Other performances. Lucas Bergvall, amazing. Obviously, Wilson Odebear got the 2 goals. His first 2 goals for the club, incredible. Good lad. He played really well. But Lucas Bergvall, he's 18, 19 years old, bossing the game in central midfield, working hard in central midfield, like other central midfielders who are far more experienced and far older haven't been able to do this season for us. He was brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant. They're all pushing Wilson Odebear towards the south stand to get his applause, and he deserves it. His best game for Spurs, and he is going to be trouble for opposition defences for us, but they should be pushing Lucas Bergvall to that crowd, as far as I'm concerned. Jed Spence put in another incredible performance. But I'm going to say it again. I'm sorry to get back to some negatives, but even once we'd scored the 3rd goal, and it was a brilliant goal, an absolute picture book Ange Postecoglou goal, back to front, James Maddison on the half turn in his own half, taking a risk, beating 3 men, driving through midfield, finding Odebear, finds Son, then Son back to Maddison. Listen, even after that, though, we then made 2 more substitutions, players who it took a while to get into the game, and we gave the impetus back to AZ Alkmaar. Am I just being too negative? Am I being mental? But would other teams not have controlled that game better? After we went 3-1 up, they had, AZ Alkmaar, 1 chance where they were 2-on-2 and had a 1-on-1, and 1 chance where they had a free header from 6 yards out, and they didn't score. Vicario made saves. And I know I shouldn't be finding any negatives because our season is still alive, and Deki Kulusevski there on the bench, and that's huge because hopefully we'll have Kulusevski back for the next round in a very difficult 2-legged tie against Eintracht Frankfurt. But it's incredibly hard to see us putting a dent in Eintracht Frankfurt, a team who have won a European trophy in the last few years, a team who have just demolished Ajax of Amsterdam home and away. It's very difficult to see us putting a dent in them when we sometimes make such naive decisions. And I'll say it again. Right now, I guess it looks for Ange like the right decision. Maybe Van de Ven's injured. I don't know. I hope not. Of course, I hope not. But that was his game. That was Ange's game there. And if AZ had got the next goal after 2-1, Ange would be out of a job now. I mean, he wouldn't have been sacked right now, but he would have been sacked in the morning, or sacked, at least metaphorically sacked, because he wouldn't have lasted by the end of till the end of the season. I don't know. Maybe he'll look at it and say, I made the right decisions, but that was a tough watch. The second half of the second half, and so frustrating because we were so good. That showed what we can be when we've got players at centre-back of the standard of Mickey van de Ven and Christian Romero. I'll go through my team ratings. I'm sorry to be negative, guys. I really am. We're through. Quarterfinal, huge. And sometimes in adversity, you find a way to do things you haven't done before. And that's all I can hope that happens. Vicario, huge performance. Claimed some huge crosses. Made some big, important saves. He has proven the difference for Spurs over the last few weeks. Huge performance from Big Vic. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Pedro Porro put in a good shift today. We needed him. And he showed some good attacking talent. He didn't get caught too much. They were pinpointing him, especially in that first half, with long balls over the top. He dealt with it pretty well. Really helped, though, by Romero helping him out there. We've really missed Romero. Jed Spence, another good performance. I'll give Porro a 7 out of 10. Jed Spence, I will give a 7.5 out of 10. Another great performance. Really put it in, set up a goal, endless running. What a player. We're so lucky to have him. Christian Romero, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. We've missed him. He played really well, but he made some fucking daft decisions at times. Twice where we had free kicks where he can just play it easy. He's trying to play balls in between the line and just kicks it straight to them so they can come on the transition. It just strikes of a little bit of complacency at times with Romero. At other times, he makes the right decision playing between the lines. We've missed his passing so much. He is a brilliant passer of the ball, but you've got to pick your times. And when you're leading and it's thin, your lead is thin, and you don't want to give the opposition even a sniff. Don't just kick it to them from a free kick. Move them around. Mickey van de Ven, 9 out of 10. Maybe could end up being the best defender I've seen play at Spurs. He has everything. Since he's been injured, and I've only obviously seen him play that 45 minutes, was it against Elfsborg, and then today, 60 minutes today. It's almost like he's started believing in himself more as well, because he just shoves people off with his body, and he uses his pace when he needs to, and when he doesn't need to, he just uses his body. What a player. Oh my God, what a player. When teams try and press us, when they try and press him, he just beats them around the outside and gets it into Son's feet, and we play football that way. What a player. And, you know, I was absolutely scathing about Ange for taking him off. I thought we had to risk keeping him on the pitch. Now that we've got through, maybe it's the right decision, but honestly, the difference, once Van de Ven had gone off the pitch, chalk and cheese. And that's no offense to Archie Gray, who, don't forget, isn't even a centre-back. And I guess because no Danso would have come on for him. But Archie Gray and Ben Davies, neither of them are centre-backs by trade. But Van de Ven, 9 out of 10. In midfield, Bergvall, 9 out of 10. I've waxed lyrical about him. What a player. Sign him up, give him more money, get him a 10-year contract. Chelsea him. Fantastic. Maddison, 9 out of 10. Took the game by the scruff of the neck. Showed how important he is to us. But Ange took him off with 20 minutes to go. Why? What if that game had gone to extra time? Maddison was the one keeping the ball for us in midfield and scoring a goal and setting up other goals. Why did he take him off? A mad decision. He takes him off in every game. Why? It must be to do with fitness and him knowing more to do with the data. But fucking hell, if that had gone to extra time, we had no creativity on. He took Madders and Odebear off, but Maddison played really well. Pap Sarr, 6.5, 7 out of 10, got his body in the way, picked up scraps, used his engine. He's on better form than he was, but it wasn't brilliant. Odebear, 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, 2 goals in the right places. His best game for Spurs by miles. He showed to me why he should be playing on the right. He should start on the right ahead of Brennan Johnson every game now. Get down the outside, stretch us. And that gave more space for Son, who had a bad start in the game. I was slagging him first half. Terrible decision-making, bad passing. But he really grew into it. And as a result, I would give him a 6.5, 7 out of 10. And Solanke, a 7.5 out of 10, made good decisions most of the time. Only once made a mistake at the back end of the game where he should have held it up, gave it away. But overall, I'll try and end this on a positive. Tottenham are through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. The season goes on. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Ange Postecoglou, you still have a job. I don't care if we get absolutely dicked against Fulham at the weekend. I'm sorry, I just don't. You wrap those players, Solanke, Van de Ven, Romero, in cotton wool. You do not play them at the start of games. You do not, because I'm telling you, if I watch a Premier League game and I see Mickey Van de Ven or Romero pull up with a hamstring so that they cannot play in those Eintracht Frankfurt games, I'm done with you. That would be mental. And maybe you're looking at this and thinking it's a bit hypocritical considering I really wanted Van de Ven to stay on the pitch. But tonight was everything. Tonight was everything for Spurs. And that's why I don't know last time I was as angry watching Tottenham as I was in that second half. Because it was all or nothing. And Ange took some decisions that almost acted as if he didn't think that. So wrap them in cotton wool. Get them sleeping in hyperbaric chambers. Put them in protective boots even though they've got nothing to protect. No injuries. Everything. They are our only chance of going further in this competition. We only have a chance of beating Eintracht Frankfurt if we play Mickey Van de Ven, Christian Romero, and Dominic Solanke. So wrap them up. Take it easy, boys. It's all or nothing. Quarterfinal. Last time we were in the quarterfinal was against Seville. We lost. But last time we were in a European quarterfinal, Manchester City over 2 legs. First European game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And when we play Eintracht Frankfurt in that home game, and it'll be the first leg of the fixture, I think, at home because of some ridiculous situation where Chelsea have managed to get ahead of us in the first leg because both games can't be played in London at the same time. We need the Spurs fans to get behind us properly. We need huge performances. But we're through. And I'm sorry for the negativity. I am. But maybe let me know in the comments. Did you feel different? Were you as wound up as I was? Because we were so good in the first 60 minutes, 55 minutes, so good. And the frustration is in how quickly it can change and how much the belief within that team changes when the best team aren't out there. So we need to get that best team out there as much as possible. Okay, guys, that's been my instant match reaction. Thank you so much for watching. Please do press like. Please do press subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And come on, you Spurs. Okay, guys, welcome to the fan show. This is where I talk to Tottenham fans from all around the world about the Tottenham Hotspur 3, AZ Alkmaar 1 game. Sorry, it's been a long night. In the Europa League last 16 second leg, Tottenham are through 3-2 on aggregate. Brilliant first half performance, brilliant first 55 minutes. Then the rest of it was like gnashing of teeth. And I will be talking to people from all around the world. If you want to be involved at the end in the fan show of a future game, talking to me after a game, please do email tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That is tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. And Chris will get you involved. But first of all, today, I am going to go to America, I believe. Wait, hold on. I've made a mistake here. Yes. First of all, I'm going to go to Matt in New Jersey. Matt, am I right? Is that where you are? And how did you feel about that game?
You are correct, Barnaby. How you doing today? Yeah, it was. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I on mute? Oh my God.
No, you're not. I can hear you. It's all good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank heaven. Yeah. So what did I think about that match? I think I echo a lot of your comments. You were saying that we were really, really great for about the first 65 minutes. And then as soon as we just started, we gave up that silly goal, and you just saw it in the whole team. Everybody's head dropped. You saw it in the stadium. You felt it in the stadium. Hell, I'm in New Jersey and I felt it. So, it was great that we were able to kind of like get that third goal and hold on to it, but it was pretty scary, man. It was scary times.
It was really horrible. Just showing a super chat there. Thank you, Yori. He says, nobody can tell me that Ange didn't watch our last video and copy all of my tips. Ange was on my channel. Sorry, Yori was on my channel and talked about what Ange needed to do. Fullback in midfield overload. Yeah, we were better in the midfield, that's for sure. But tell me, how did you feel then in that kind of second half when it felt like we were kind of almost giving them the momentum back? That's how it felt to me.
It felt like the same old story. We saw a lot of the same problems that we've been seeing the whole year. You know, I believe we spoke a few weeks back about, and I think both of us agreed on the fact that it's that deep cross to the far post. Usually, it's a second attack after the ball gets recycled, and then Poro's sucked into the middle. Usually because the center back has been sucked left, and so the whole team is just on one side, and they have carte blanche right there. I mean, I believe there was one instance where if the AZ player wasn't in the way of Troy Parrott, he would have had a clear shot on goal. I believe that was in the 70th minute or 75th minute. I mean, these are schoolboy errors. We can't keep seeing the same stuff. And, you know, we give the ball away in very dangerous positions. It's very disheartening to see the same problems over and over again. It's great that we got through, but we're papering over the serious flaws.
It's fascinating though, isn't it? Because when we have our two centre halves, I guess it's kind of like the equivalent, you know, when Van Dijk has been injured for Liverpool struggled to make top four. And it is basically that. It's like if Van der Ven and Romero aren't playing together, suddenly the drop-off is about 25%. So I'm getting obviously a lot of comments angry with me for being so passionate and angry. And I'm sorry, you know, I'm invested. It's like, I can't help it. And I apologize. If you feel differently, that's absolutely fine. It's football. It's subjective. Absolutely. But are you in agreement with me, mate? If we, from now in the Premier League, don't play Romero and Van der Ven, because it's clear that the only chance we've got is if they play.
You know, I kind of do agree. I do want to say, don't apologize for your feelings, because the way you support Spurs is the way that you support Spurs, and no one could tell you otherwise. I'm a big fan of telling people, if you want to support them a certain way, that's great. That is your deal. But I think I agree. You want to try to keep Romero and Van de Ven together just for these European competitions. I mean, what do we have to play for in the league? And I'm not trying to just say, let's just throw a bunch of kids out there, but maybe you could just be smart about the rotations where you don't use so much time. Maybe only give them a half, just even if we're losing match, even if we're not winning a match, it's just we got to kind of prioritize this because this would be such a giant moment for Spurs, for everybody. So for all of us, all of the fans who've been through so much, if we could somehow get through the next round and get to the next round and really make some waves in it and get to the final, possibly win something, it would be a massive moment in time. So I do agree that we should kind of really prioritize the European competition.
I think it'll be really interesting to see what Ange says in the post-match and in the press conference about taking Van de Ven off, because obviously, all of my points totally get thrown out the window if he says that that Van de Ven felt his hamstring. But let's see what happens. Alex
Please,
Z,
no. Please don't say that. Please don't say that.
Alex Lee in the comments says, you're right, Barnaby, not just Van de Ven, because you can kind of understand it, but Maddison and Odebear makes no sense at all. And the thing about that one with Maddison and Odebear is it's not like he made those subs and suddenly we tightened up and made it harder. It seemed to make us more open, didn't it?
Yeah, it's somehow we just lost our continuity. We lost. It feels like we just lost our heads when certain players come out of the game. We just lose that spark. Johnson, and I don't want to jump on the guy so much. I know he's still young, but I didn't even know he was there. I saw Odegaard come off, and I didn't know Johnson came on because he didn't have like a touch. I think I saw him run once. But, I think we should also prioritize like Solanke, and, we can't keep running him into the ground. He does like such a hard 90 every match. Yeah. So it's, it's very scary sometimes.
We're so much stronger with Solanke. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we are the Spurs team that we should be with Solanke because he gives us so much pressing from that front. He does so much work, and when people slag him off, they really don't watch him. They really don't watch him for a full 90, I feel.
Okay, well, let's try, and lots of angry people in the comments. So let's try and get some positivity back. We are in the next round. How do you think we can fare against Eintracht Frankfurt?
Frankfurt is a very dangerous team. I mean, I know they just sold Armour, the Marmouche kid, to City for a boatload of money. I don't know exactly how they reinvested that, but I know I do watch a little bit of Bundesliga. They are a pretty tidy side. They are dangerous. Oliver Glasnow, he's now the manager of Crystal Palace. He was their manager. His system clearly works. They have a distinct 3-5-2 system. That's it kind of works against it, kind of just nullifies the other team, and at the same time having these wicked quick counters. I've seen that, and that is very worrying to me. I don't understand how we have the first leg at home and the second leg on the road. I thought with the UEFA rankings we're higher than Frankfurt, I think, in the scale. So I think we finished higher than them in the league table.
I think it's because Chelsea are higher in the UEFA rankings than us, even though they're in the Conference League. So once again, that's up by Chelsea.
We could never win. We could never escape them. They're forever the one who always steps on us. But yeah, I think Frankfurt can cause us problems. We just have to, like we talked about, just kind of prioritize that, really game plan this. Like, we can't just go in there open and gung-ho that first leg, because they do play this type of football that can find our weaknesses, and our weaknesses are quite glaring, as we've discussed.
Yeah, it's going to be stressful. Just brought a comment up there from Meletios. Thanks for your comments. Says, Barnaby, take a breath, mate. You want Van de Ven wrapped in cotton wool, but absolutely going ballistic. He got taken off. I have to say, I think that comment is a little bit, it's almost like you're not understanding the game state here either, Meletios. The reason I wanted him not taken off is because without tonight's win, there was no possibility of wrapping him in cotton wool after this, because there was no point. So it was worth taking the risk tonight. I'm sorry. in my opinion. It's just my opinion. But anyway, I appreciate the comment. Listen, mate, thank you so much for being patient, calling in all the way from New Jersey, being part of the show, and hopefully speak to you again after a good result of the weekend.
Yeah, that would be great, man. Listen, great shows. I really appreciate the time. You have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Cheers. Goodbye.
All right, later.
Okay, next off, over to Noel, who is not in the pub today. He's at home. Noel, I'm getting a lot of pushback in the comments. You're an older Spurs fan like me. Were you having kittens like I was, or were you a bit calmer?
Of course, Barnaby. Yeah, that's what Spurs fans do. I mean, at 2-0, we were, it didn't
cruising.
It looked as if we would get the third goal. A bit of inexperience, really, between Bergvall and I think it was Odegaard, wasn't it? And suddenly they're back in it. I still thought we could push on and win it. And the third goal, I was waiting for it to be pulled back for offside. I really thought it was very marginal, but thankfully we got it and managed to hang on. But there was lots of things about the game that I thought it was a good performance. Some very, very good performance. I think Van der Ven was magnificent.
Amazing.
And I think you're right. He should have stayed on for the 90 minutes, and if he had, I don't think we would have been in the position that we were. Romero still worries me, to be quite honest with you. I think I counted at least about 3 to 4 times that he gave the ball away casually. He's such a good footballer, and he makes things look so easy. But his pass, trying to pick out nearly an impossible pass into midfield, that scares me a lot. And I think actually there was one time late on in the second half where he was ball watching, where the two players were actually behind him, and I think it was Mizuma and Vicario got the ball off the line. You're right. I mean, kittens is, you'd be really nervous as a Spurs fan, but thankfully we got the job done. Some good performances, I thought, all right. There was good link-up play. Sonny obviously created 2 goals. Madison took his goal well. And I think Sonny might have been guilty of trying to do too much. I know he's a confidence player, but, he kept running into blind alleys a bit. Solanke, I didn't think Solanke was really into it because they didn't really play his, for his style. But anything he did do, he did well. And
it's the same as how many times we talked about it. No, we don't make our number 9's chances at all, do we?
No, I don't think he got. I don't think he got one chance.
No,
I don't think there was a proper ball put in. Where he could latch onto it. Or with his back to goal, set somebody up. But at the end of the day, we are through. I thought it would be 2-0. I said it to you on Sunday. I thought it would be 2-0, 3-1. Very disappointed that we give them a goal. And there was there was very nervy towards the end there. They could possibly have sneaked one and brought it in extra time, but God knows what would have happened at that stage. I think relief is the word all round. I didn't actually hear your after-match, but I gathered from your demeanour that you weren't too happy with the last 30 minutes.
Do you know what? Look, I'm authentic. That's all I can say. Is like I've actually got a text from my girlfriend who says that I'll be upsetting our flatmate because I was so loud, and I wasn't. And the reality is, I wasn't loud in the first 60 minutes because we were. That was the Tottenham that can play for Ange.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the problem is, you need literally all of your best players on the pitch to do it, and that's not how football works.
Yeah, I know.
That is not how, and that is why. And listen, I'll caveat again for the umpteenth time. I'm desperate for it to work for Ange. I'm desperate for him to win the Europa League, right?
Yeah.
But in nowhere in football at the elite level do you get a chance to play your best players in every single game. And the drop-off when Van der Ven is not on the pitch and Romero, especially them together, is about 20%. It's about 20%.
At least that, maybe more.
And that is a dangerous, I'm sorry to keep going, but that is a dangerous situation to be in going into the last day of a major competition. And also, that is why, and you said at the start, you were surprised he took off Van der Ven. Like, I knew exactly what he was going to say, and he still will probably in the press. We couldn't take a risk with him for his long-term health. I get that. I get that, and I agree. But also, when the drop-off is 20% and you're about to, we nearly threw that game away because of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think Van der Ven was imperious. He was fantastic. He was amazing. Yeah. His pace, his recovery, his driving forward, the confidence that he actually bestows. There was no mistakes in him at all. I thought Spence had a good game again.
Yeah, so good.
Very, very good. And actually, we might have been critical of Porro once or twice in the last few weeks. I thought he did well.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, the back four, other than Romero being a bit casual at times, and Basuma really, I know Vicari would probably have saved it, but that was throwing your body on the line, and that's what what's needed to happen. Another thing what I was impressed with, was they were making the first goal was made as a result of hard work. Instead of standing back, like Son could have easily said, "Okay, I'll not bother," and I'll wait for the ball to come back to me. But he actually made that chance, and Solanke set it up brilliantly. Solanke showed you how unselfish he is.
Mm-hmm.
He could have taken that shot himself, and he saw Odebert in a better position, and scored a simple goal in the end. But all about hard work, and the goal that Madison scored, very well set up. Madison get the ball, plays it to Son, takes it back. But I'm disappointed. Sometimes Madison doesn't finish the game. I know that he was probably trying to strengthen it up a wee bit, and I don't think Basuma did much wrong with his cameo appearance. But all in all, we would have settled for it. I mean, I was thinking 2-0, 3-1. I should have known, being a Spurs supporter at Barnaby, we always concede a goal, and we can't actually. I was talking to a friend of mine today, actually, and his friend is a Manchester United fan, and he said he's not going to cut his hair until the United have had 5 clean sheets.
I've seen that online. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he'll have a long hair for a long time.
Yeah. So, well, they did get a good win tonight. Anyway, Noel, thanks so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of it, and speak to you after the Fulham game, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Barnaby. Come on, you Spurs.
And you, mate. Okay, I'm getting a lot of pelters in the comments at the moment. I listen, and it's absolutely your prerogative. You abuse me as much as you want. I really don't care. I am an authentic Spurs fan, and if you were watching that game in the second half and you were calm and you were like, "Oh, I think Ange is making the right decision every time here, and I think the players are playing well in that second half against a team who are, frankly, dross, just want to sit back, play it long," then I don't know what games you're watching, really. I really don't. And it's absolutely fine. We're allowed to disagree. It's no problem. But the reality is that was a very hard watch, in my opinion. But you are also very allowed your own opinions. Okay, next I'm going to Essex and John. John, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good. How are you watching that one?
Yeah, I was pretty comfortable all the way through, to be honest. I was very confident before the game, during the game. I thought we had them where we wanted them once we made the breakthrough. Yeah, I mean, before the game, I said I expect a 3-0 win. Looking player for player at home, it should have been a comfortable win. But it's the Tottenham way to give them a goal and make it a bit more nervous. But with regards to Van der Ven, I think he knew, the team knew, he was coming off after 60 minutes, no matter what.
Yeah.
That was agreed. He didn't look bothered when he come off. I think that was agreed. And I hear what you're saying, but when you've got players coming back from a long injury, you're never going to give them 90 minutes. You just can't. You really can't, I don't think. I think, didn't Romero, he first game back last week, didn't he have half a game or 60 minutes or something, and Van der Ven. And that shows to me that Ange is putting the team before himself.
That's true.
Because it would have been easy for him to keep Van der Ven on there and give us more chance of winning, him keeping his job, which half the country seemed to think he would have lost if we hadn't gone through tonight. So that shows me that Ange is a Tottenham man. He's putting the club before himself.
Yeah.
And, like I said months ago, with all the injuries, already I can't wait until next season. He's brought the youngsters through, and I personally want to see him now to keep bringing them through, because they're going to be so much better next year.
Listen, mate, I think they're all really, really good points. And I wish, frankly, that I was able to be as calm as you. Maybe I invest too much. Just some quotes from Postecoglou's post-match interview. He was obviously asked about Lucas Bergwall. He said, "Lucas is just growing and growing. People are getting a real glimpse now of what Wilson is all about too. Such a shame how his season has gone with all the time he's missed, but he's getting sharper now. I also thought we looked so much more solid with Romero and Van de Ven on the pitch together. They barely found a way through. I agree with all of that. And actually, I think Odegaard on the right is so much more dangerous than he is on the left, because when he's been on the left, I think defenders have been able to see that he's just coming narrow every time. And I was, not just because he scored 2 goals, I thought him on the right really gave more room for Sonny to run into on the left as well. It's nice to hear you being so positive, John. I'm sure a lot of people in the comments will really appreciate that. How do you feel now then about, those players who are clearly so important to us and our ability to play well in Solanke, Van de Ven and Romero, particularly Vicario, I'd add to that as well. How do you feel about them and the Premier League? Would you keep kind of starting them and hope that they play themselves into full fitness?
Yeah, I think you've got to. You've got to keep them ticking over. You've got to keep them playing so they are super fit. Try and look after them. If you go 2-0 up in a league game, take a couple of them off after an hour so they get a rest. You've got to manage them, but you have got to keep them. You've got to keep them playing. You can't rest them for too long. They've had long enough out. They've got to play. And I think, like I said to you a couple of months ago, and I said when I was on the Chris's show, Brennan Johnson, there's no way he should start a game in front of our guy tonight.
Yeah.
Odegaard. He's just not a winger, Johnson. He's not a proper out-and-out winger. He doesn't take on any players whatsoever. He's great at getting on at the far post for a tap-in. But if you don't get that ball over there to that far post, what else does he do in a game? I think he's going to lose his place for quite a while. I was a bit surprised Son played the full game. I thought he would have been coming off after an hour, 70 minutes. He'd done a lot of running tonight, a lot of work.
I have to say, sorry to interrupt, mate, but they've just shown a clip on BT Sport or TNT Sports of Van de Ven when in that second half where he had to kind of accelerate fully and sprint to out-muscle Poku. And just after he won the ball back for us, he reaches back for his hamstring.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. But, he came off and sat straight down on the bench.
Yeah.
And like
They're interviewing him now, actually.
His face didn't look. He didn't look too bothered as he walked off. Before when he got injured, he was nearly crying.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe it was a bit of cramp. That's what I'm hoping. Maybe a bit of cramp. You haven't played a lot. They're just interviewing him now, so hopefully I'll get some quotes on that. So going forward, then Eintracht Frankfurt. What do you think? What are our chances of making it to the semis?
Yeah, to be honest, the way we are, I think it's a bit of a 50-50 game. I wouldn't make us hot favourites or anything. I would have done against today's opponents, but no, I think they're better.
We tend to be better against the better teams, don't we, as a rule?
Yeah. I think it'd be harder, but it shows you how far we've come down because I remember us playing you Real Madrid at Wembley, beating them 3-1 and Dortmund 3-0. And now we're saying that, we've got a cup final tonight. That's what a few of my mates have been saying. This is your cup final this season, most important game of the season. And it's against a Dutch team that wherever they are in the league. I mean, their centre forward, their main centre forward was at Tottenham as a kid for years, been on loan in League One and League Two. Yeah. And, we should be putting them away 3-4-0.
Yeah, he should have scored tonight as well. That one that Basuma and Vicario cleared off the line.
Yeah. But I'll let you go anyway. I know you've got other people to talk to.
All right, John. Thanks for being a part of the show, mate. And I'll speak to you again. Thanks for your positivity. Appreciate it.
Lovely. Cheers.
Good night. Bye. Okay, next up, I'm going to Canada and Colin. Colin, another of our regulars. Colin, how are you feeling today? Are you as positive as John, or were you having stress like I was during that second half?
Well, I mean, how are you, Barnaby? Good to see you.
Good, thanks.
I'm trying to look at the positives too. I thought Odegaard was great. I thought Madison played great. That's the best game I've ever seen Bergvall play. I was super, super impressed with his youth and the way he was able to control midfield. A lot of people are talking about bringing Sarr off, but I think you made a point. I don't think Sarr was hurting us out there, and he wasn't as involved as Madison and Bergvall were, but I mean, we got a full 90 minutes out of him and he didn't cost us anything, that's for sure. But I think there's a lot of positives. But really, like you said, in the 60th minute, I mean, it's like it was a whole other book. I was thinking when they took Van de Ven off, I wasn't surprised he came off. I didn't think he'd be able to play the 90, but I almost felt like they were waiting for that, rightly or wrongly. I thought they just seemed to change the way they were playing after the 60th minute. The mistake that Bergvall made at the top, I'm just driven a little bit batty by the nonchalance that's developed from playing out the back. I get it. I know it's the way that we play football now, but I just think mistakes like that are inexcusable at that level. And going forward, I don't know. I mean, I think that's about as good as we can be right now.
I think the good news for the Bergvall kind of Odebear mistake, the good news is they got it out of their system in a game that we managed to go through, and I don't think either of them will make that mistake again. I'm in the overall for Bergvall, I'm not fussed about that at all. I just thought he was for a 19-year-old, absolutely magnificent, driving us forward. And you know, the fact that he's come in as a kid and is now the #1 name on the team sheet in central midfield says it all. And we need, frankly, 2 more of him, or you know, a couple more of him in our squad to make sure that we've got really great options in central midfield.
I thought that was our nicest midfield combination in a long time. I thought Bergvall's play really complemented Madison's well. I was surprised Madison came off. I thought he looked really strong, led to that beautiful start to that 3rd goal. Odebear was incredible, but I was surprised he came off, and I was tense too when bringing on Bissouma, and then also surprised that Odebear came off instead of Son coming off. I thought Son had a good game, but I was surprised Odebear came off, and I thought maybe Johnson would have been better in Son's spot. Almost a like for like in some ways. People are awfully hard on Johnson, though. I don't really understand why. He's been great for us by times. You talk about confidence, and I think that's a big part of it as well. I don't know.
I think some people, Colin, some people in the comments were saying how tired Odebear looked by that point. I think with Johnson, I think Johnson is a great option for bringing off the bench in games where, you know, the teams are opening up and they need to come and get something at us. But what he also needs to do better is just keep the ball. Sometimes it's as if he's only got one thing in mind, and I've seen it a couple of times in the last few games. He keeps trying that trick where he kicks it one way round the player and tries to run round the other side, but he doesn't get the ball past the player. And so then he's running past him. He hasn't got the ball with him, and they're on transition. So he just needs sometimes to be a bit more, I just think just a bit smarter with it. But yeah, Odebear, I think in the comments people were saying they were he was pretty tired. But I just think for me, where the danger was, tired or no tiredness or fatigue, sorry, is that if they had got an equalizer and it goes to extra time, we have no creativity. At that point, I think he would have had to probably bring Mikey Moore on as somebody who could have unlocked them, because we weren't going to unlock them, I don't think, from there.
Well, when you look at, you know, it was around the 72nd minute when they looked fitter. And I know as a coach, he's thinking, okay, I have to change things up a little bit. But really, when you sort of went down the bench at that point, the way the other players on the pitch were playing, you thought, who do we bring in here that's going to make us better? And especially in midfield, because Bentancur was obviously suspended. I didn't see bringing in Bissouma was going to make us better at that time. And of course, Bissouma ends up making a play that arguably saved the game for us. So I don't know. I always think that he's got to know more about football than we do. He's a coach of a Premier League team, for better or for worse. And I think that the metrics that they're looking at as a coaching staff are probably a little bit more advanced than mine sitting on the sofa. And
listen, I'm going to try and say that I think what the team can take from today is, for that first 65 minutes, that actually we were nearly back to some of our best, and hopefully they can take that forward. Colin, thank you so much for being a part of the show, mate. Let's speak again after the Fulham game. Cheers.
Thanks, Barnaby. Take care.
No problem. Bye-bye. Okay. Next up in Ireland is Paul. Hello, Paul. How are you doing, mate?
How are we doing?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm calming down, Paul. What did you think of today?
you know what? Though, look, I think we all know now it's not a Tottenham Hotspur game unless we're a little bit stressed. I think it just comes with the territory at this stage. But you know what? No, like your previous caller, I'm quite positive. I thought we were very, very comfortable up to, yes, I take your point, 60 minutes, 65 minutes. I wouldn't say I kind of fell to pieces, but yeah, you could see the change of atmosphere once Mickey came off. I get your point, and I be honest, I kind of get Andrew's point as well. If it is a fact that you could only get 65, or you only wanted to go and give him 60, 65 minutes and get him off the park. I understand we probably could have done with another goal or two just to make it a little bit more comfortable, but the whole game did change after that. We looked a bit edgy for 10, 15 minutes, and that's where the stress comes in as a fan. But I think overall, I thought we were very, very good. Bergvall again, I just think he's just getting better by game. The man, he was an absolute Rolls Royce again tonight. He was incredible, absolutely everywhere. As you said, we could do with another 2 or 3 of him.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. What else then going forward? Eintracht Frankfurt, what would you do about this kind of very weird and what feels like almost an only Spurs situation where we've got players who have been so injured that it feels like we have to be very careful with them in the Premier League? Where are you on all that?
Look, we're not exactly blessed with, we'll say a strong squad. A lot of people come out, a lot of players coming back from injury that probably do need minutes on the pitch. To be honest with you, under 21 games behind closed doors is where I'd be putting them, not in a Premier League stadium playing 45 minutes or
they won't sprint. They
be.
Wouldn't sprint in those games though, would they?
No, they wouldn't, but it would keep their legs ticking over. It will keep them on their toes. It'll keep them, relatively match fit. Look, I think this was always going to be the plan. It was going to be wrapping them in cottonwood as much as possible, because the Europa League is the only thing that we have basically fighting for. Look, we're not going to get relegated. The Premier League is, as regards of even claiming the European places, is long gone. It's winning this competition and qualifying for the Champions League next year. This is our bread and butter now. So, if he does have to wrap them in cottonwood and not play them at all to make sure that the next day out, he gets more than 65 minutes out of Van de Ven, then so be it. If that's what you have to do, then do it. I don't care, because without them in the team, we haven't got a hope in hell.
Yeah, and then how does that feel then with all those kind of lots and lots of reports that Christian Romero is interesting Real Madrid? How important do you think Romero is, or is it really that Van de Ven is the most important? And if we can find another centre back who can play, easy passes well, or is it a lot of the time that Romero's passing in between the lines causes so much damage to even teams we play who sit back?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like last Sunday against Bournemouth. Like, I know he was only just back from injury, but he could have cost us 3 before they actually scored the first. Really poor passes. Just very lethargic. They're kind of more casual at times with his passing that can get us into the height of trouble. So look, if I'll be brutally honest, look, there is no one player bigger than the club, and never has been and never will be. And if the likes of Real Madrid want to come and they want to pay big money for him, I don't have an issue with it. Let him move on. Let us get the money and we'll bring in somebody else. I don't want to see Van de Ven go. Now, there's something in the back of my head, and this is coming from no news source whatsoever. But if Van Dijk goes from Liverpool, I am absolutely petrified that Van de Ven will go up the road.
They couldn't afford him, though. I don't think they can afford
him.
Well,
yeah, look, they're going to have to pay big money. But if you're looking for a natural replacement for Van Dijk, that's where you'd be looking. Plus Dutch manager, and I don't know. But look, hopefully it's not going to come to that. We'll be playing Champions League. I said this to you months ago, that we are going to be sitting on a show like this with a beer in the hand at the end of the Europa League final, celebrating a win, and we will be playing Champions League football next year.
Well, I love that positivity. I'll tell you now, I told Chris Cowlin when we started talking about doing watch-alongs that I'll be going to Bilbao if we get to the final. So we certainly won't be talking unless I'm talking from some car park or bar in Bilbao. Yeah. But listen, Paul, thanks so much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. We're through, and that's the important thing. Top man.
Absolutely. Come on, you Spurs.
Bye-bye. Okay, and next up, I'm staying in Ireland because here is Des. Oh no, Des, you're not in Ireland. Sorry, you're from the UK. How are you, Des?
I'm from Northern Ireland, but yeah, I'm in York.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, confusing. I got it wrong on almost every political level. I apologize, Des. What did you think of that performance?
You're absolutely fine. Quite pleased with it, to be honest. It probably was nerve-wracking for a few people. I thought did really well. I thought when you considered the third goal after they made the mistake that let them back in, I mean, I was screaming, kick it out, because we were under the cosh at that point. But what a goal! What a team goal to get out up the pitch and show confidence, and that's what handball is all about. And you know, in like the group that I'm in, the ones who sit beside each other, I've been quite highly critical of hands sometimes, and when it goes wrong. But you know, when you see a goal like that, that's what it's all about, and it just needs to happen more often. In terms of Alkmaar, I think we're actually doing them down a bit. You know, they've been, if you look across the 3 games that we've played them, they've been the better team in 2 of the games, not tonight. And there's certainly no mugs. They may not have the resources that we do, but they're a good team. And I think that's a good result to beat them the way we have.
Yeah, and then how do you feel going through into the Eintracht Frankfurt 2-leg game then? Or are you more like, let's just concentrate on some of these Premier League games first?
I think like most people, the Premier League's, you know, it's a bit of a dead rubber now. It's just, I mean, Daniel might like to finish a bit higher for more prize money coming in, but we're 16, 17 points ahead of relegation, and I know there was never realistically any danger, but when Leicester beat us, it was quite worrying. So let's just focus on that. Quarterfinals, you're not going to have an easy. Whoever you play, it's not going to be easy. So Frankfurt, Ajax, whoever, you know, we've still got Lazio to worry about, United, all the teams. So just take it as it comes and just, you know, go for it.
Yeah, so that Europa League quarterfinal, the first leg will be the week of the 10th of April. It will be the 10th of April. The second leg on the 17th of April. So a good month until then to get the players either, depending on how you look at it, up to speed or try and not really play them that much. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it depends how long Danso's out. If Danso's, you know, if he's going to be out for 5 or 6 weeks, then they may not well have a choice. So the good thing is Davis was back tonight. He was on the bench. Well, he actually came on, and as always, and he wasn't on for long, but he looked steady away. Just try and keep him fit and play either, you know, rotate between Van de Ven and Romero and Danso, and you know, try and keep. But, you know, at the end of the day, if it comes to the game next month and 2 or 3 of them aren't fit, we'll just have to get on with it. You know, there's nothing you can do about that. Whatever team goes out, we'll just have to get on with it. I think Spence could quite easily play at centre back. And as you can see, Archie Gray is very confident. It doesn't, but well, he's quite athletic, isn't he? Spence, he's quite strong and he's big, so I don't think he would have any problems playing at centre back. The guy would play anywhere. He's just that type of player.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. Listen, Des, thank you for being a part of the show. Really appreciate it. Let's speak again after hopefully another win at the weekend. Top man. Okay, I've had to let Des go. Just couldn't quite hear him. But very patiently, Paddy is waiting. And Paddy, thanks so much for waiting around. How did you feel about that 3-1 victory tonight and 3-2 overall, taking us through to the quarterfinals?
I'd say I had to agree with you, to be honest with you. I know you're getting some abuse, but I thought it was a very patchy performance, even in the first half. I think Son was pretty poor until he, you know, he did that press. He lost the ball a few times, just was weak. thought Bergvall was great. I thought the second, I mean, once we scored the goal, we kind of sat back, stopped the press, and we did the same thing when we got the second goal in the second half. Odegaard was great to see him get a couple of goals.
Yeah,
I thought the second half, Son and Spence, started playing together well. Where Son was playing him in on the wing, and he was causing a lot of danger there. And Spence, he's some running back to cover that guy Poku a couple of times. Like when Van de Ven went off, he had the pace. Like he has pace. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. I think he did play centre back for us in one of the games before when he came on he had to move in the second half and played that position. Johnson, I know some people say he gets a hard time, but he came on. He didn't track back when he loses the ball. He jogs back. He just doesn't track back.
I agree.
And he scores, but he's non-existent apart from that. So Odegaard is going to deserve a run now for a while, I think. I think what you said, though, is the biggest issue, and we did it against Brighton, but we do it all season, is the inability to see out a game when we're winning. It's just to slow the ball. I mean, the last 10, 15 minutes when we were leading, we got off, Van de Ven was off, and yet we're in 2 against 2 at the back, or the ball's played in, and there's two of their attack, Parrott and another guy with a free header in the box, or it's just, why do we do that with we're winning a game and we're belting forward looking for another goal? It's just ridiculous. It's just
Paddy, let me ask you a question. Why do we do that? Like what do you think that's the manager's request, or do you think it's just naivety on the players' part? I don't know the answer.
But I mean, surely if you've got a World Cup winning centre back and a Copa America winning centre back who's lots of experience, he should be corralling that defense, like to be tight, hold the team together. But like belting forward, we're 2 against 2 or 3 against 3 at the back. It's just crazy, and we do it every match. We just don't seem to have that in-game mentality to see a game out. Like just slow the ball down. Don't go for an attack. Just play safe balls. But we just don't. Maybe it's Postecoglou. I don't know. But it's.
I mean, one thing I would say is that I feel like if and I know they're unfit, and I know it has now been decreed that it was definitely the right decision to take him off after 60 minutes. But if Van de Ven and Romero on the pitch, it wouldn't have been like that together. I don't think.
But it's not just this game. It's just we seem to do it all the time. It's like we can't see a game out. It's never like we're in in Dundalk, we have a local Dundalk Spurs group, and in our chat, it's always, we're going to need another goal. We're going to need another goal. It doesn't matter if you're 3-1 up, we're going to need another goal. That's just it, because it's just always nervy, and you can't actually relax. I was having a beer downstairs. You can't relax for the last 20 minutes and just say, right, that's it. We're through. Lovely. Let's rest up a few guys now for Fulham at the weekend, and it's just never like that. Hanging on for the last 5 minutes. So I think Frankfurt, if you do that against Frankfurt, we'll get penalised. I don't think they're a great team, Alkmaar. I really don't think they're a great team. So I think with a half-decent team, I think we'll get punished.
It'll be interesting to see how Frankfurt play at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, whether they just try and keep it deep and tight and then hit us on the break. And you'd think they'll have better players to score in those transition opportunities they get, or whether they'll try and come at us, at which point you'd think Spurs would probably pick them off a little bit.
Well, at least Marmoush is gone. That's one positive out of the situation. I think Götze got 2 goals today in that win. I don't know. It's going to be. I think it's a 50-50 game. I'd see the betting now. It has Man United as favourites. They've gone up to favourites. We're third favourites now.
I think Bilbao are favourites because they've got Nico Williams,
and they're at home. Yeah.
Although one thing going against that, as I contradict myself immediately, is of course Bayern Munich played at home against Chelsea in that Champions League final and managed to lose on pens. But Nico Williams is a cut above, so that's the team that I would like us not to have to play. But look, Eintracht Frankfurt. I mean, look. Let me ask you a different question. Where does Ange need to get to, do you think, to keep his job?
I think he needs to win it. The league is done. In the league, I think he's just too naive in tactics. I think he has to win it. I think if he doesn't win it, I hate to see that, we change him back to the same thing again, change the manager every 18 months. But I just don't think he's got enough cop on to know when to change things in the game. It's just like it's just the one tactic, and if it doesn't work, he doesn't change it. So people say Areola. There's rumors about
I saw that.
Inter manager as well.
There's rumors about who? Sorry,
the Inter manager is the.
Inzaghi. Yeah, but some reports I read this evening that Spurs have apparently actually approached Iraola's people about trying to find out whether he'd be interested, and that actually he would apparently.
Him and the other one is Silva, but only what Silva was. I know he was great at Hull, but he had a disaster in Everton. But
actually his disaster doesn't look quite as bad as everyone else's disaster.
No, so and he's getting a tune out of Fulham. He's really getting a tune. Like they lost Palhinha, and they seem to be still a great team this year. Yeah. So I don't know. I think either of those. There's no other real great prospects that are out there. But I think
Rangers have just gotten through to the quarters on penalties.
I was sort of in two minds there. Obviously, being Irish, I was kind of hoping that Fenerbahce get through, and also that Mourinho was saying the game's not over when they were 3-1 down. But I think we're probably better with a Mourinho team out.
I think you're probably right. Listen, Paddy, really good chat. Thanks so much. Make sure you come on again. It's been really good to talk to you. And look, like I said, it's been a difficult evening in some ways, a really good evening in others, but most importantly, we're through, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
Top man. See you, Paddy. Okay, guys, if you would like to appear on a future episode of The Fan Show, please do email Chris Cowlin at tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. It's very important to us that this channel gives everyone a voice, particularly from those around the world. So wherever you're from, please do get in touch. Okay, guys, that has been the end of a very long and sometimes stressful night. To all of you that I've upset with my passion and, stress, frankly, during the game, especially in the second half of that second half, apologies. We can't all be the same, but what can I say? I take it incredibly seriously. I love this club. I love Big Ange Postecoglou. I want it to work for him. I just wish there were ways that we could be sometimes a little less naive on the pitch. I didn't agree with all his decisions tonight, but you've got to say we went through. We got through, so his decisions have been proven to be correct, and my angst with them at the time proven to be wrong. And let's just hope that Mickey van der Ven is fit, that him grabbing his hamstring didn't lead to any kind of other injury. And that Spurs can go into that Eintracht Frankfurt two-legged quarterfinal in a month's time with our best players, because we need them. We need them. We need Van der Ven. We need Romero. We need Vicario. We need Solanke. And you know who else we need now? Lucas Bergvall. What a performance from that kid. Absolutely unbelievable. Guys, please do make sure you give this video a like if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed to Chris's channel. That's at Chris Cowlin on YouTube. Also, my channel, if you don't hate me too much by now, at Barnaby Slater _ for daily Spurs news. And stay tuned for the Spurs Chat podcast starting at 11 o'clock on Chris's channel on a different feed. He is on with Ricky Norwood, Stu Miller, and Lee Baker. Guys, like I said, the only important thing is that we're through. The season is still alive, and Ange is still alive too. Imagine it. Imagine if Big Ange lifted that trophy in Bilbao. What a night that would be. Come on, you Spurs.